Friday night's game was an indication that the ball was going to be flying here at Citizens Bank Park. How about Ryan Howard's home run against Tim Lincecum? He likes hitting against Lincecum. That dates back to Lincecum's career opener. That was a two-run shot, but Justin Maxwell, man, did he launch this one against Jerome Williams off the top of the Geico sign as the Giants were able to climb ahead of the Phillies. But then Maikel Franco was able to tie the ball game up with a home run against Tim Lincecum. He's been swinging the bat well, but Buster Posey, well, this was essentially the game winner for the Giants into the bushes in center field. They took game number one. Game two, well, it was the story of two different players. Nori Aoki, who didn't play Friday because of the flu, had 3 hits, reached base 5 times. And Madison Bumgarner, he was a strikeout machine, a strike machine. He reached double digits for the second time this year. He was up 6-0, but then Jeff Francoeur added a little electricity to the ballpark with that grand slam to make it 6-4. But Bumgarner settled right back in, throwing one strike after another, getting one strikeout after another. And then Santiago Casilla got the last 2 batters on strikes, and the Giants have taken game number 2 of this 3-game series. So now we finish up the homestand, finish up the series against the Giants. A beautiful Sunday afternoon here at Citizens Bank Park. And yes, we talked about this yesterday. Matt Stairs signing his book, A Boy Named Matt on the Concourse. What does that mean? Well, it means some extra proceeds to the Little League up in Matt's hometown, but it also means that Mike Schmidt is flying solo in this Open. Are you ready to go with this one?
Yes, I am. Let's do it.
All right, let's talk about offense. And it's not been great for the Phillies overall, but for Odubel Herrera and Freddy Galvis, they've really been struggling.
Yeah, you'll see a graphic come on the screen in a little bit. Both of them are struggling, especially Freddy right now. I wear a lot of hats with the Phillies, and one of them is a hat of a sort of a hitting consultant. I spent 6 weeks in spring training with those guys, so, that may be an area where you can look for blame also. I failed a little bit as a coach. But let's go to experience. These guys are playing as regular players for the first time in the major leagues this year. And what experience gives you is sort of a bag of tricks to reach into when things start to go a little sour or go a lot sour. You have some things from experience to reach and grab for to sort of end slumps, to try, things to do. These guys don't have that, They're experiencing learning to hit and learning to deal with slumps at the major league level, and that can be very pressure-packed.
Well, they're both in the lineup today. We'll see if they can get out of it, but they're going to have to get out of it against a kid who is pitching well. He's not even a kid anymore. He's 37 years old. Out of Kutztown University, Ryan Vogelsong. Pretty big difference between April and May for him.
Yeah, for sure. Had a really rough April with an 0-2 record, 4-1 in May. Ryan's from Kutztown, so he probably grew up a Phillies fan. Hey, all I can say is pitchers are just like hitters. They have bullpen sessions. They play catch all the time. Sometimes you can latch onto a little fundamental or something that brings your delivery together, that gives you rhythm, that ends up giving you confidence in your fastball for sure. And I'm sure Ryan Vogelsong now, looking at some of those highlights right there, has extreme confidence in his fastball. Ridiculously good ERA in May after a very poor April. So we got our work cut out for us again today.
Well, he credits Dave Righetti, his pitching coach, for fine-tuning some things and helping him to that success in the month of May. So it's the finale of this 3-game series. Vogelsong making his 10th start. He'll be opposed by Sean O'Sullivan, who will be making his 8th start in a Phil's uniform. 1-4 with a 5.03 ERA. Well, we mentioned this is the finale of this homestand. There's been a lot going on here at Citizens Bank Park, including Maikel Franco's maturity offensively. Some good plays by Freddy Galvis. Out at shortstop, some game winners. Lineups and first pitch for the finale when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. By Citizens Bank, one deposit checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at IBX.com. At Citizens Bank Park to wrap up this 3-game series. And the starting 9 randomly selected children who have come to the ball game today out to get an autograph from their favorite Philly player wearing the Ken Giles t-shirt. Thanks to the folks from the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 98. Let's take a look at the Giants lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Leading it off in left field, Nori Aoki. Joe Paddock, the second baseman, bats second. Angel Pagan hits third, followed by Buster Posey and Brandon Belt. Brandon Crawford, the shortstop, hits sixth. In the bottom third of Matt Duffy, Gregor Blanco, and Ryan Vogelsong. And they'll face right-hander Sean O'Sullivan. But before we get to O'Sullivan, a little glimpse of what Matt Stairs was doing for about an hour before the ball game, signing his book. A boy named Matt. How did it go down there, Mike? Or Matt?
It was good. We stayed very busy for about an hour straight.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to thank the Phillies for giving me the opportunity to do the signing and all the fans that came out. So it was a fun hour. A lot of interesting people, and had some great conversations about hockey.
About hockey?
That's unbelievable.
I guess that goes hand in hand. The boy named Matt and hockey.
Did you sign very neatly?
Very good.
That a boy.
Very good. Very important too.
Yeah.
You have to. The hard thing is spelling people's names. There's some different spellings out there, and one name really kicked my butt, and I had a hard time spelling it.
Joe?
Matt.
Hey, are we going to get some books? What I want to know. I mean,
I told you.
Okay.
Yes, you are. Patience.
Signed.
Well, I'm thinking of something real good to sign for you.
All right, let's take a look at Sean O'Sullivan's numbers. 8th start, 1-4, 5.03 earned run average. Opposition hitting .290 against him. Well, while you were sitting down there signing, what did you think about as far as the scouting report goes?
Well, for the scouting report, he's averaging 89.4 miles an hour. Not using his curveball very much anymore. Actually, less than 2%. And the league is hitting .074 versus his changeup.
Well, he's faced the Giants twice, as you see there, 2009, 2013. And the first pitch to Nori Aoki is taken outside, so we're underway. 1 ball, no strikes. Aoki 8 for his last 16. His numbers are just unbelievable. Signed as a free agent during the offseason. Cody Ashe out in left field, crosses over the Fanatics tire tracks and makes the catch. One away. And that'll bring Joe Panik to the plate. These two guys were combined 6 for 12 in this series so far. Aoki and Panik. Panik's played 2 games. Aoki's played 1. Panik has hit in 11 consecutive games. His average at .308. Now the Giants drafted out of St. John's University. Delivers a strike, and it's 0-1.
Panik has got a very nice short swing. We've seen it the whole series. Fastball's in, he'll turn off. Fastball's away, hit the left field.
That one's out toward left field, hit pretty well. Ashe back toward the track, has room, makes the catch. All right, it's time now for our Nissan keys to the game.
My first key is going to be Cody Ashe, let it go. Feels like he's kind of feeling for a swing right now, thinking too much. Just get up there and try to hit a home run.
And I'm looking, I know what my key is, but I'm looking to see if there's a title for my key.
Fresh young start.
Oh, fresh young start. Oh, I'm sorry. It's I thought it was Cody Ashe. Let it go with a fresh young start. But it's also a fresh young start, hopefully, for the 2 young men we talked about in the show's opening today, Odubel and Freddy Galvis and Herrera. Hopefully they can look at today like a new start for both of themselves. Neither one played in yesterday's game. And today's a new day.
Angel Pagan is behind 0-1. A pitch inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Pagan hitting .292, no home runs, 12 RBIs, 2 for 10.
You know how much easier this game would be if they didn't have stats?
If you just went out and played?
Yeah, you just played today's game for what it is, today's game.
You know what that's called? It's called childhood.
Why do I have to look at a scoreboard and see all these numbers and how we've been doing? Isn't what's important what we do today?
I think that's hard to. It's hard to convince the player of that too sometimes.
For sure.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Pagan. Up high, 2-2. It's one of the best things about baseball. I mean, not having played it professionally, obviously, I'm just saying that from an outsider's view, is that you have a game at 3:05 on Saturday and you immediately can turn the table to 1:35 on Sunday. You don't have to sit and wait.
Very important to have a short memory.
To left field again, Kobayashi.
Major league record.
I was just thinking the same thing. Handle all three of those rockets.
Side is retired in order. All a little different. All coming from left-handers. We'll go to the bottom of the first. The Phillies and the Giants, a scoreless game. Bank Park as a member of the San Francisco Giants, the team that originally drafted him, although he played a lot of his early time as a professional pitcher with the Florida Marlins. Let's take a look at the Phillies starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. So it'll be Revere leading off at right, Odubel Herrera batting second. Chase Utley at third, followed by Ryan Howard and Maikel Franco. Kobayashi's in left, he'll bat sixth. The bottom third of Galvis, Rupp, who starts today for Carlos Ruiz for the second time, and Sean O'Sullivan, second time in the last 4 or 5 days. Here's Vogelsong, 10th start overall. He's pitched in 11 games, so 2 relief appearances, 4-3, with an ERA of 4.26.
Yeah, he's one guy that has to get his changeup over, and you see the scouting report. 4-pitch pitcher, averages on his fastball about 90.3 miles an hour. But the most important pitch for him, besides his curveball, is his changeup. Hasn't been very good this year. The league is hitting .444 versus his changeup coming into today's game.
Ben Revere 2 for 7 in the series, and he takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Overall, Revere hitting .270, no home runs, 16 runs batted in. .2.
Well, it tells me a lot about his changeup location. Obviously, a lot of times pitchers tend to give it away. You know, I remember hitting and guys have changeup, and you could always see them like hump up in their windup. You know, they speed their windup up, and then because you know they want you to think fastball, and they're going to grunt, and then it's a changeup. Changeup doesn't have any movement low and away from. You know, from the hitter, then that can, you know, that changeup can be racky-tacked if it's hanging in the middle of the hitting zone.
Well, he picks up a strikeout of Revere.
Yeah, this is just a paint fastball low and away. Good height. Suppose you had the glove out and it threw right through the glove.
So one got. Here's Odubel Herrera. Herrera hitting .243, a home run, 15 runs batted in. We showed you his numbers during the open. He has really struggled, he and Freddy Galvis, and he hits the first pitch to second base. And there are 2 outs. What was it yesterday? Madison Bumgarner, was it 6 pitches in the first inning or something like that?
Yeah, 5 strikes, 1 ball.
Well, you know, that's not all bad. You know, Odubel, as you say, we talked about in the opening, has been struggling. But, you know, but I don't mind if you're struggling a little bit. Just go ahead and get aggressive early in the count. Hit the ball hard somewhere. It's not a bad way to start the game off. Obviously, we'd like a base hit. But just a hard hit ground ball is not that hard, not that bad of a thing to build on.
Utley takes low, 1-0. Well, he's been off for a couple days. Herrera has. What do you do when you're struggling and you're off for a couple days? Are you spending a lot of time underneath hitting and taking some flips and hitting off the machine?
I probably am. I'm probably doing a lot of thinking, a lot of soul searching, thinking back to the good times during the season and how I felt and where that went. Recently. I'm definitely going to come into my next game, which for him is today, with a plan, something a little bit different and out of the norm. Starting a new day, a new segment to the season.
Utley hits the 2-0 pitch in the air on the infield. And Crawford, the shortstop, makes the call, and the side is retired. So 7 pitches, and Vogelsong is through the bottom of the first. Both teams go down quietly in their half of the first. We'll move on to the second. Buster Posey will lead things off. June 19th, we'll be turning back the clock to the late 60s. Vintage music, retro-themed player headshots at Fanavision. The Phillies and the Cardinals will wear retro 1960s era uniforms. Get your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. I wonder if they're going to be as thick as the uniforms that they wore in the 60s.
Flannel. Unbelievable.
Buster Posey leads it off. And it's 1 ball and no strikes.
I'm glad I came into pro ball right at the invention of double knits.
Double knits. What were your college uniforms like? They were probably fun.
Oh yeah, double knit.
Oh, they were.
Oh yeah.
That one's hit towards shortstop. Galvis stays with it. Posey doesn't run all that well, and he's retired. So 1 out here in the second.
Probably gets a pass on the sprint to first base every time he hits a ground ball. Buster Posey as a catcher got enough work to do.
Well, people wondering, he's catching for the 3rd straight day. They had an off day on Thursday, and they have an off day tomorrow as they head to New York. So I guess that's the theory. Even with that injury that he had several years ago, he is very durable.
And he's also a very good first baseman.
Excellent first baseman. Here's Brandon Belt. Now, Belt's been swinging the bat well, so that's probably why Posey's not playing first base today against the right-hander. Against lefties, he'll play first base a little more often. Just missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brandon Belt has reached base safely in 21 consecutive games. It's currently the longest active streak in Major League Baseball. That includes a hit or a walk more when we talk about reaching base safely.
Matt Holliday did have the streak going, right, at 44?
He did. We were part of that. A little low, and it's 3-1.
Well, and you know, you can bet that's a well-rounded hitter that's doing that. It's a guy that'll take his walks. It's a durable guy. You got to play to do that. I mean, you can't just continue a streak like that if you're, you know, if you take a day off every now and then, or you're on the bench, you come off a pinch hit.
Fly ball fouled on the left field line. I think you guys may have been talking about this, that when you're walking a lot, in this case, it's part of his streak, then that means you're hitting a lot. And I remember when Holliday was in that stretch, I mean, he seemed like he was hitting every single time he was up at the plate.
I'm going to tell you right now, the ability to walk is a major part of being a good hitter. You know, I don't care what you say. Every now and then there's a great hitter that, you know, just lets it fly at everything. I'm thinking of Manny Sanguian back in the day. The Yogi Berra, they say, base hit just over Freddie's glove by Brandon Belt, who continues that streak.
That's it.
Vladimir Guerrero.
Yeah, there are a few, but for me, the hitter that helps the team the most is a guy that understands the strike zone and a guy that's willing to pass the baton to the guy behind him.
Well, Belt's aboard. His average creeping closer to 300. It brings Brandon Crawford to the plate. Crawford is 2 for 8 with an RBI in this series. Look what he's done his last 21 games. A .341 batting average during that stretch.
Yeah, we talked about him yesterday. You look up at the scoreboard here, and those are not far from MVP numbers. You multiply them by 3.
Yeah, because if you even include the runs scored, he's on pace for more than 80 runs scored. Seems like he bears down a little bit more when there's runners on base. No balls and 1 strike to him with 1 out here in the second. Inside, 1-1.
Last pitch, Matt. To me, that's a dead giveaway for a hitter that's sort of on his game, about locked in, but on his game. When you throw that cutter on the inside, and you don't even flinch. You know, you don't even offer at it. Starts on the inside corner. Cuts off the plate inside. Most guys will yank that baby foul, you know, because they're over aggressive and 1-0 count or 0-1 count.
Which is surprising because usually the cutter is the hardest pitch to pick coming out of a pitcher's hand. But when you're getting that cutter inside, not even flinching at it, I'm going to stay on the other side of the plate.
2 balls, 1 strike to Crawford. And he rips that one toward the gap in right center field. Odubel Herrera is going to cut it off. Belt's on his way to third, and he'll be held there. It's going to be a double for Crawford. That's his 12th of the season. And the Giants have runners on second and third with 1 man down. Well, that's the 7th extra base hit of this series for the Giants. So averaging a little more than 2 per game. It's been part of their repertoire.
He worked to a perfect count to get a fastball right there. Belt buckle high. See that finish, how it's kind of low, how it's kind of the top hand comes over and the bat goes through the zone, perfectly level. That's what you're after. Whatever you got to do to make that happen as a hitter. That's where line drives come from.
Well, now here's Matt Duffy, who's had himself a good series, 4 for 9. He's also scored 4 runs. Driven in a couple. Infield is back. First pitch inside. 1 ball, no strikes.
That's a good pitch, Matt. We've watched this kid, you know, rope the ball to right field and right center 3 or 4 times in this series with men on second and third and 1 out. I guarantee he's thinking about that.
Well, and he showed the ability to hit a home run to right field, a double off the wall. He hit a ball hard yesterday to Hernandez at second base for an error. Pound him inside. You can tell he wants to get the arms extended, get a ball out over the plate, and be able to drive the ball to right center or right field.
And with all the guys that they have having successful years, he's the leading hitter with runners in scoring position.
They go right back in there right now, right at his hands.
Well, that's what they try to do. Off the mound, a run will score. They'll get the out at first. RBI for Duffy is 25th of the season. And the Giants take a 1-0 lead.
Well, that's a good pitch. That's a good pitch, and it's also good hitting. It's also good hitting. I mean, you don't get them both in, but it's kind of the Giants' way. Worst case, we're going to get one in. We're not going to strike out. See how he tries to stay in the middle of the field? He doesn't try to turn that ball over to the third baseman. Just go ahead and break my bat, but I'm going to hit it up the middle and get a run in.
And obviously congratulated by his teammates as he goes into the dugout. And now Gregor Blanco batting 8th today. Batted leadoff in game 1, 8th yesterday, and 8th here today. He's up with a runner at third and 2 men down. In the dirt, 2 balls and no strikes.
Matters that situation again.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's you get the pitcher on deck, you might as well throw him and put him on purpose.
There you go.
Well, that's what they're going to do. So this will be the first walk issued by O'Sullivan. And no offense to Ryan Vogelsong, but he doesn't have the same bat that Madison Bumgarner has, yesterday's starting pitcher.
Right, and even if it is Madison Bumgarner on deck, the first 2 pitches O'Sullivan threw were changeups in the dirt, or changeup, then a changeup in the dirt. You don't want to, throw a ball down the middle. Now all of a sudden you're making a mistake. Throwing a ball in the dirt is going to be a pass ball or a wild pitch or whatever. So why not take your chances, even though it is in the second inning? Your offense has been struggling to a certain degree, besides the grand slam yesterday.
Right.
You need to keep the run to 1 right now in the second inning.
Wouldn't even have thrown the first 2. You can't pinpoint it enough to know you're not going to leave something that he could get a bat on.
Right.
Well, Vogelsong is up. He's hitting 158, 3 hits and 19 at bats on the season. Blanco leads off first. Swing and a miss. No balls, 1 strike. Try to get started a little early on that 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
If I were a pitcher in this situation here, I'd get 3 hacks in. And if I were a hitting pitcher, if I were a pitcher in this situation, I'd be hesitant to throw something that this guy could get a bat on, like a fastball. I might hook him 3 times or throw 3 sliders just to get him out. I'm not letting that run score.
So let me ask this question: If pitchers, Vogelsong's a 158 hitter this year, why wouldn't he practice on bunting, drag bunts,
like right now?
Like right now, even with no one on, no strikes or no pitches. Franco was playing way back at third base.
0-2 pitch. Runner goes from first, and it's a breaking ball outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Stolen base for Blanco.
Well, I guess they're 100% sure they're going to strike this pitcher out.
Off the hands, out toward Howard, and he'll make the catch. Side is retired. However, the Giants do score a run on the ground out by Matt Duffy. We'll go to the bottom of the second inning. Ryan Howard will lead things off when we return. Now at csnphilly.com/PhillyTough. Then watch as the Philly Tough debate escalates on Breakfast on Broad tomorrow morning from 6 until 8 on the Comcast Network. Who's the toughest baseball player?
Philly Tough. I guess you got to have like a Bobby Clark, tooth knocked out or something
like that.
For starters. How about? It's hard to put a baseball player in that. I mean, there's some tough baseball players. Pete Rose is one of the toughest guys I've ever been around.
Yep. Matt went hockey. I went Joe Frazier. I think Murph, you went Chuck Bednarik, right? That's who you went with as your selection.
Concrete Charlie.
Yeah.
How
about that's an obvious one. How about Dave Schultz?
I think that's who Matt said.
Oh, did you?
Mike.
Baseball players always stick together.
Whether he was tough or crazy, or both.
Both. I also went with Ron Hextall.
1 ball, no strikes to Ryan Howard. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, whoever you think, you can go to csnphilly.com and make your selection. And you can be part of the debate the next few days on Breakfast on Broad. And Howard hooks it down the right field line. It is a foul ball. The pitch was hung up there. Well, it's time to take a look at our T-Mobile game changer. Giants have the best win-loss record in the National League and among the best in baseball on the road. The Rangers are 19-11. The Rangers, by the way, have the exact record they had last year and the year before on this date, but 19-11 on the road. Giants have one of the best home field advantages, or the best home ballparks in baseball. I mean, they sell out all the time. They've had over 350 consecutive sellouts out in San Francisco.
Well, we remember those days.
Yep.
How about Aaron Rowan?
Aaron Rowan was part of was in the mix. His name was on the list. Out toward right center. That'll drop for a hit for Ryan Howard. First hit of the day for the Phils. And the leadoff batter is aboard.
That's a peach right there. Fastball inside.
That's beating the shift. Sometimes it's where you hit it, not how hard you hit it.
Exactly. It's a smart hitter. Goes in the books tomorrow as a line drive. Fastball inside, hits it off the end of the bat. Smart hitting.
So Ryan's at first. Here's Maikel Franco. Franco 3 for 8 in this series. See his numbers on the year: 5 home runs, 15 runs batted in. And he pulls that one, a fair ball down the left field line, heading to the corner. Howard's heading to third. Aoki will get it out of the corner. He bobbles it for a moment. It'll be a double for Franco, his 4th of the year. The Phillies have second and third with nobody out.
There we go. Jump a first pitch inside fastball. Pound it right over the third base bag. Got a little rally going here, Matt.
It's actually a ball inside, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But that comes back to where you were talking about. Just the reach. That's what you talk about. You have a game plan coming into today's game. Franco said he's going to be aggressive early, which it might sound funny us saying that, but the last couple of games he's been very patient on that first pitch.
Well, that's a 6-game hitting streak for Maikel Franco. His average is sitting at 250. Here's Cody Ashe up with runners at second and third. Now the corners are up, or I should say the third baseman's up. But Ashe rips it down the right field line. And it's 0-1.
That's an aggressive swing. That's not feeling for hopefully you make a solid, good contact. And when I talked about in his key, just let it go. Swing it. If you strike out, you strike out. But for him, I think sometimes he gets in that mental area where he's thinking too much hitting-wise, mechanics, and then all of a sudden you forget to swing.
Off the end of the bat, that's going to boop into left field. A base hit, 2 runs will score. The Phillies are going to take the lead as Ashe holds up at first. It's a 2-run single. It's a 2-1 ball game.
There we go. The Giants a little bit of their own medicine there. Putting 3 hits together. The game can be fun when you're doing that.
Doesn't matter how hard you hit it, it's where you hit it.
But that was just kind of a contact swing. It wasn't a pull on his mind and end up reaching out and cueing the ball to the third baseman. He kind of just threw the head down there and served it out to left field. Got them both in.
Yep, it all started with Howard's single and the double by Franco. And now here's Freddy Galvis with the runner at first. Freddie is 0 for his last 29. And Murph, we've been sitting here talking about Freddy Galvis the last week or so about everything that everybody's wondering is wrong with the Phillies shortstop offensively.
Yeah, you know, when you're in an 0 for 29, people are going to start to talk. How nice would it be for Freddie to just get a base hit like that Cody Ashley just got? Maybe that would get him going. You know, we've talked so much about Freddy Galvis and keeping the ball on the ground. Early in the season, that's what he was doing. Right there, he does not. He goes to 0 for 30. And, you know, it's a discussion. Obviously, hitting the ball on the ground has been fruitful for Freddy Galvis. But take a look at the numbers. I mean, really fruitful. When he hits the ball on the ground, batting .352, in the air .082. Of course, line drives are always going to look good in the stat page. But, Mike, you know, you and I had a great conversation about what Freddie needs to do. And he's obviously not trying to hit the ball in the air, but get back to that focus that he had during spring training and early in the season and really trying to drive the ball into the ground.
Yes, Murph, you're exactly right. A lot of people have communicated this to Freddie, and I think we all see it, and the numbers obviously don't lie. I mean, everybody knows that line drives create higher batting averages than either ground balls or fly balls, and in Freddie's case, fly balls, you know, for the lack of a better word, are kind of a cancer in your hitting approach. If you're not a Ryan Howard, whose fly balls sometimes go out of the ballpark, fly balls for you are outs, as the stats show. Freddie's not trying to hit the ball on the air. Freddie's kind of cutting the ball off. It's really hard to describe. Matt and I will chat about it as the telecast goes on today. But, you know, it's when your hands separate from your body. You know, your hands, you throw your hands out away from your body and you're not connected. You're not staying back and connecting to the big muscles, and you don't have a short, quick swing. You have kind of a choppy V-type swing where you're coming out or you're rolling over. So a lot of Freddie's outs are in the air, soft fly balls the opposite way, or rollover ground balls. Nothing, Matt, it's we've all gone through it, right? I went through it 100 times.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that it's hard to get through. You know, and that's...
See Freddie's upper body. Matt will point it out to you on the telestrator here, how his upper body kind of leaned forward, and if you can show that again.
There's ball 4 to Cameron Rupp.
All right, so this is where you're sitting right here. All right, this is what we're trying to hit off of. And the key is keeping your head as close as you can back to your left shoulder. But if you watch how much he has a nice load right there, all of a sudden now, look how far he's ahead of the zone now, where it was before. There is no strength back on the back side. The front side's weak. But what I notice a lot is that the swing is going in the zone and out of the zone too much, caused by his head going over too much over towards home plate.
So not staying back.
Right.
I think you can look at a lot of his at-bats during this 0 for 30 stretch and see a lot of those same things as O'Sullivan bunts up the first base line. And it's no balls and 1 strike.
And now we're in a situation, first and second bunt situation. O'Sullivan has to bunt the ball hard enough to third base where the third baseman has to field the ball, because the only play he's going to have is a throw to first base.
Yeah, because right there, if you're bunting it toward first, Duffy's already staying back, so you have a chance to get Ashley at third base.
Right, and you have a left-handed first baseman, so it's a very easy throw for him. Bunting hard to third base.
And he bunts it toward third, and that'll be enough to get the runners up. Sacrifice is successful. With 2 outs now, we'll go back to the top of the order.
Nice bunt. One last thought on that for our viewers out there, and I'm going to give you a lot of this sort of technical language here throughout the telecast today, as one of our themes today is slumping and the mechanics and the psychology of hitting. Just think of yourself as chopping a tree down in your backyard, and you have an axe in your hand. And you're going to go out and you're going to chop that tree down. So you grab that axe where you would normally grab the axe. and you spread out like you're in your hitting stance, and you chop that tree, and you hit that tree as hard as you can with that axe. Your upper body is not leaning forward toward the tree. You're hitting against a firm front side and having your weight evenly distributed and your upper body over you.
Ground ball to third, and that'll end the inning. The Phillies will leave 2 in scoring position.
Now all our fans are out there chopping trees down in their backyard right now. Don't go out and chop a tree down.
There'll be plenty of firewood for the winter if you start now. Question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fan section for all the information. Please submit your answer on the subject line.
Melon.
Yeah. All right, guys. The question is, Bruce Bochy has the most wins by an active manager with 1,650. Who is second? Matt, we were talking about this the other day. Who is second on that list among active managers in wins? Neither Mel or Ed Ott are in the mix for that conversation. See the franchise record for the Giants. It's going to be hard for anybody to catch John McGraw. The man was a manager for 30 years with one team. Really hard to catch him. Over 2,500 wins during his career as a manager for the Giants.
That's impressive. Very impressive.
First pitch to Aoki is taken out outside. 1 ball, no strikes. All right, so Aoki last year played for the Royals, won the American League pennant, played for the Brewers for 2 seasons. I mean, think about some of these numbers that he's put up this year. He's tied for 5th in stolen bases. That's not a, I mean, that's really good.
Very good.
But he's first in road average, 407. First in day average at 449. Second in hits overall with 68. Third in multi-hits with 21. Breaks his bat and a grounder to second.
4th in broken bats.
Yeah, he's got a lot of broken bats too.
He's been a very good player. Very good. And his swing is similar to Freddy Galvis's right now. I mean, Aoki, he goes ahead a lot towards the pitcher, but the thing is he keeps his hands back the whole time, which allows him to stay up the middle a lot with his hands.
All right, so body is forward, but hands are back.
Right, so it doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, the perfect swing is stay back, and like Mike said, it was a perfect example, chopping at a tree. But when you're going forward with your upper body, as long as your hands stay back, your hands are still in a pretty good hitting position. Would you agree, Mike?
Yes, hands back is another hitting fundamental that's a must for good hitters. we'll give you a few of them as the broadcast goes on, but wow.
That one is quickly whipped into right field for Joe Panik. That's a 12-game hitting streak. He's thinking about 3. Although now he puts the brakes on. He took a look at Ben Revere going into the corner.
Well, when you think of body going forward, and hands staying back. You can think Ichiro.
Yep.
Suzuki. A lot of times the foreign-born, the Japanese players will run out of the batter's box as they're hitting, but you can notice, like when he's like on his way to first base and hitting a line drive to left field, it's because his hands stayed back. It's not going to hit the ball with a lot of power with that stroke, but he's going to be able to execute line drives. So I'm giving you another strong hitting fundamental. That's one that used to be talked about all the time back in the day, was keep your hands back.
Yep. Big Panic did that right there with that swing. Here's Pagan, who's 0 for 1. And he pulls that one fair down the right field line. That's going to tie the ball game up, and Pagan's going to go to second base.
Yes, it is, and we're going to have a replay here too.
You can't review it.
Can't review it.
Can't review it. No. I mean, this is where you probably would want to. Ryan Sandberg's going to come out and talk to the first base umpire, Marty Foster.
Well, that was hands back, that's for sure, but he hooked it over, and he even thought it was foul.
I think everybody did.
And they have a speck on the ground there where it looks like the ball, it catches a piece of the white line. Amazing.
Yeah, by that angle, it does look like it did go over the bag by a little bit.
Well, going over the bag doesn't matter, right? I mean, if it doesn't matter where it goes over the bag.
True.
If it hits in foul territory,
going over the bag in the air.
In the air, right? That's right. So it looked like it hit the line. Yeah, right there. You can see it. Just hit the edge of the white line. Now that is Marty Foster over at first base. And again,
game of inches.
Well, and again, that's something that may be reviewable down the road. But it's not reviewable until it gets to the outfield grass in the air. That one got over the bag, but didn't get to the outfield grass. So here's Buster Posey with a run in, and the game tied at 2. And Posey fouls the first pitch back.
We were talking yesterday. Posey can have some great swings sometimes. Man, he can take some god-awful looking swings. And remember I said yesterday, Mike Krukow said he's 100% guess hitter. Looked like he was guessing slider right there, didn't it? I really think we all are, to tell you the truth, till we get 2 strikes. You can't tell me that a hitter, that Matt, that you had a pitch in your brain, you had a visual in your mind when you were hitting, generally, that pretty strong toward one particular pitch or another when you were batting.
When I faced left-handers, yes. When I faced right-handers, never. I always set fastball for right-hander.
So against left-handers, you would sit breaking ball?
Yes, at times. I mean, really, for a right-hander, they were basically a fastball, curveball, or a change. Well, I didn't want to swing at a changeup, because that's going to be a weak fly ground ball rollover. It's hard to square up a curveball from a right-hander to a left-hander unless it's a hanger down and in.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Buster Posey.
And you were probably the same way, Mike. You probably set sometimes, maybe versus a right-hander on an off-speed pitch, because it is a lot easier for a righty to hit a right-handed curveball for a hanger. A hanging curveball to a left-hander is a hard pitch to hit because it never comes down through the middle of the plate. It stays back out over the plate.
I generally looked for the pitcher's best pitch to me. It may not be to someone else, but to me.
That one's out towards shortstop, flagged down by Galvis. They've got a play at third, and Pagan is out at third base. Pagan is asking for that to be reviewed. So is Roberto Kelly. That is a base running mistake by Angel Pagan.
Yeah, it might have been a mistake, but he might have gotten in there. When you dive, sometimes it's easy to avoid the tag with just one hand and him trying to tag you. Great play by Freddy here. Nice backhand, and also you got Franco covering the bag. That's pretty close.
It is close.
They're going to look at this one.
Yeah, they're going to review it.
See his hand in there?
It's tough to tell.
Let's see if he comes off the base or not.
Well, that was the other thing. It's tough to tell on the other ones.
There you are. He's safe
right there.
His hand does look like it's in right there. He may get away with this base running mistake.
Well, what happens? It's a good play all around, except Franco. I mean, you really can't expect him to sprint to the bag right away and get in a good tagging position to catch the throw from Freddy. He's kind of like hanging out behind the bag, and Freddy throws a nice throw to him,
right.
But then he's got to try to hunt the bag and hunt the runner.
I think the hope is that there's that it's not conclusive enough.
Well, it is for us here, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is.
And guess what? I think it's going to be for the fans, and it's going to be for the fans here in the stands.
Now, if you watch his hand, okay, he keeps the tag on, but watch Pagan's right hand right there comes up a little bit off the base.
Onto the hand of Franco.
Yes, and Franco still has the glove on the tag.
Yeah, that's a good point, Matt. That's a good point. In fact, right there, I think his hand might still be on Franco's hands. And his thumb is on the base, but it had already come off. So, they'll look
right
at all
there.
of
He's
that.
holding on to the bag.
Right, but it's
now
right
he's holding
there.
on. No, he's holding on now.
No, his hand's gone. So his hand started in the front left corner of the. Here we are thinking we're talking to the TV. We were talking to the big jumbotron.
Yeah, the jumbotron is not available to our viewing
This is what they're doing down there on the field on the headphones.
Look, right here.
Up in New York. Folks, this is what it sounds like in New York right now.
All right, so his hand might be on there, but you're saying, Matt, that right there, his hand is off while Franco's already tagged.
Right,
Matt can't see that he's blocked.
What about here?
If you look right there, that's where he's touching third base, the front corner.
All right, let me ask you a question. In New York, is there one guy that makes this call?
No,
but as you see right here,
there's a crew. They're doing what we're doing right now, right?
His hand has to slide over
and
Francoeur's hand to go on the other side.
Right, off Franco's hand. Off the bag, off
Franco's hand.
So how do you vote? You're in New York right now.
I'm going to say he's out right there.
I'm going to say he's out.
You're going to say he's safe?
Well, it doesn't matter now. It's 2 out of 3.
Well, but what?
No, you have your. You're a big boy. You're a Hall of Famer. You can make a decision.
No, I don't have a. Well, there you go. I don't have a definitive angle
on either or the second one
to refute your point.
And that's why I think the longer they wait,
yeah,
it's better for the Phillies to make the decision.
Yeah. Now it all has to be conclusive, obviously. Now we're breaking it down onto 2 separate pieces. We're saying that it's conclusive that his hand was on the bag ahead of the tag. But then it looks like his hand came off onto Franco's hand, and Franco tagged him or kept the tag on him.
So if they're looking at that, they're saying, okay, he's safe.
But he's out.
Initially. Something had to happen after the initial touch of the base to get him called out.
Here we go. Yep, here we go. Safe. Wow.
I told you guys. So they got to take that 2 off the scoreboard and make it a 1 now. And boy, do things change with that.
All right, so the call is overturned. 3 minutes and 10 seconds. And I think it was what Matt was talking about is what took it so long. Is that they were looking at the whole play.
Yeah. Now Pagan thinks he made a good base running.
Well, I'm sure Roberto Kelly will remind him that he shouldn't have done that, but he got lucky.
But he did beat the throw right there.
Yes.
He was safe there.
But right there.
I thought his hand came off, but wouldn't be the first time I was wrong, and won't be the last time.
Well, I'm glad you caught that, though, because we may have just gone right past it. I mean, we'll get an explanation eventually. So they'll score it a fielder's choice. Straight fielder's choice. And there are runners on first and third with 1 man down. Brandon Belt, the batter. Belt last time up single to left center field. Phillies will set up to try to turn 2. Change up low. It's 2-0. Oh, he went, according to the third base umpire, Mike Winters. 1 ball, 1 strike. of a changeup again. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Very good pitch right there. Now he has the ability to either throw a changeup either farther off or up and in fastball because he's thinking about that pitch out over the plate.
See, now let's go back to looking for pitches or just looking for the ball. Now here's where, as a hitter, I would have the changeup, the one I just swung and missed and was ahead of, in my mind and make him break my bat with the fastball.
Over to the right side, this might be 2. There's 1. Galvis' turn to first is not in time. The run scores, and it's a 3-2 ball game. 4-6 on the putout at second base. An RBI for Belt, his 26th of the year.
Well, he got the ground ball, got just what we wanted to get out of the inning, and Belt must have got out of the box. Man, I don't know if he's a runner or not, but here you go. You watch him. He must have got out of the box good. Well, a little bit of a kind of a what do you call a lollipop exchange with Chase. A little bit of a not really what he would sort of consider a brisk exchange with Chase and Freddy. They still almost got him, but being a left-handed hitter, he beat it. Sometimes you smell that RBI, don't you?
Yeah.
No balls and 1 strike to Crawford. And he pulls that one, caught by Ryan Howard. Boy, that ball was smoked. Right place, right time. 2 runs score in the inning for the Giants. They'll retake the lead. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd. It's 3-2 San Francisco. Is all we do. Call 1-800-JEFF-NOW or visit jefferson.edu. And buy Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. 3-2 Giants on top. And we move to the bottom of the 3rd. It'll be Odubel Herrera, Chase Utley, Ryan Howard against Ryan Vogelsong, who still makes his home in Downingtown, Pennsylvania. He's been an amazing story, or has been an amazing story in Major League Baseball, particularly for the Giants, who drafted him out of Kutztown in the 5th round in 1998. Is 43 and 38 since 2011. That's pretty good. 5 games over 500. An ERA of 3.78. From 2000 to 2006, as Herrera takes a strike, it's 1-1. He was 10 and 22 as a major league pitcher.
Pacing himself, trying to figure out what kind of pitcher he was. I played with him in Pittsburgh, and he wasn't sure if he wanted to be a power pitcher or an off-speed pitcher.
Interesting. That one's hit well out to right center field. Paganjas is going to sit and watch. It is gone. off the roof of the dugouts in the bullpen. Odubel Herrera, his second home run of the season, and he's just tied this ball game up at 3.
It's a new day. It's a new day. And that is.
Well, it makes a winner out of Fred Ball of Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Fred is our McDonald's home run jackpot contestant, and he's won $100 thanks to Odubel Herrera and the good folks at McDonald's.
The ball's crushed.
Yeah, that was a rocket. His hardest ball hit of the year.
Look at the guys in the bullpen scattering on that. They thought maybe we could catch it.
I didn't know the little fella had that kind of power.
I did.
Off the flower bed above the bullpen?
Yeah. That's a heck of a shot. It's over 400
I mean, it's not like I've seen him do that with regularity, but I've watched him strike the ball in batting practice. And, his mechanics through the ball are as good as I've ever seen. It's just that it's mostly too over aggressive. I mean, it's mostly way too hard.
That's what I was saying. I mean, I knew the little guy had that power.
One ball, one strike to Chase. And Chase lifts it in the air to left, playable for Aoki. And one man down here in the third.
I would say Odubel should keep that video of that hit.
Yeah, everything seemed to be in sync.
He should work off of that the rest of the year, huh? Just pull that one up whenever you're struggling.
Well, I mean, especially when you get a home run right over the 398 sign, just short of going in the upper deck of the bullpen.
Line drive, not fly ball.
And that's right center.
Fastball.
Howard takes and swings at the curveball, and it's 0-1.
See, that's experience gives you that. Now he's got that at bat, right, to carry with him now. Like, he's got it to carry with him the rest of the year. I mean, I remember on that bat I had against Dwight Gooden that I carried with me for 2 years.
Opposite way, Aoki back toward the wall, get turned around. It's off the top of the wall, and he kicks it. And Howard's going to get his second hit of the afternoon. It's a double.
Let's go back to that first inning. Odubel Herrera grounds out to second base on the first pitch of the game. Remember, so that's not a bad thing. Now you got something to build on. You got a hard hit ground ball. Ryan Howard, same thing. First at bat, he didn't hit it hard, but he hit it where they weren't. Started the game off. He's 1 for 1. You know what it's like if you're 1 for 1. As the game goes on, before you know it, you're 2 for 2. And you got a big game ahead of you. They can't stop you.
You're looking for that walk.
Throw that walk in there, and then boom, that home run comes, and you got you a 3 for 3 with 4 RBI game. And it all started with a little broken bat single, right?
Well, here's Franco, who doubled his first time up. Let's see if he can build on that.
Well, and hopefully Ryan Howard can build off that double to left field. He started getting hot last month with that double he hit to Atlanta. Then he had a home run to left center. So he knows that swing's there again. And he got lucky because Aoki was too close to the wall and didn't have a chance to play it. And that's why he played off his knee and he got to second base. So domo arigato. Just thanking him.
There's a strike, and it's 0-2 to Franco.
A couple of Japanese words. Remember, I played over there.
I know.
The famous one was Mui Punk Onegashimasu. I have another glass of beer.
Well, we got the estimated distance on Herrera's home run, 433.
On the line. Imagine if we changed the what do you call it, the launch angle of that slightly.
And the velocity off the bat.
What was Howard's home run the other day that went over the corner into the bullpen?
That's a good question. I don't remember what that one was. Carl Graber, our statistician, is going to go back into his filing cabinet that he carries with him. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Isn't it fun to talk about
great
hard hit balls and home runs?
429.
429. Now that one was high.
Yes.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Franco. He jumped at that one, and Belt in foul territory will make the catch. The other 2 outs. Next time you're looking for great seats, get to StubHub, where there are no surprise fees at checkout. That's right. On StubHub, the price you see is the price you pay. StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Phillies. Well, there's the Fanatic out in left field trying to get the fans into this game. He's also got some folks with some musical instruments that are hanging with him from Cardinal O'Hara High School. You might hear it in the background a little bit. Probably hear the laughter in the background too. Kobayashi takes outside, 1 ball, no strikes.
Nice 2-out hit here for Cody. Be good.
Kind of like the one he had the last time he was up. Spins that one off the mound. That was right off the end of the bat. And Crawford throws him out. So the side is retired. The Phils settle for tying the game up on Odubel Herrera's 2nd home run of the season. But Vogelsong works around the double to Ryan Howard to get the next 2 batters. Here's the swing. He was right on it. 433 feet off the foot of the flower bed. Phillies and Giants tied at 3. Are built to withstand the extreme elements. Trust Avery labels with your most essential shipments. Who but WB Mason? Top of the 4th inning, Matt Duffy will lead things off. It'll be Duffy, Gregor Blanco, and then the pitcher's spot for the Giants against right-hander Sean O'Sullivan. Duffy grounded out his first time up, but picked up an RBI, ground out to shortstop. And he lifts that one out towards right center field, and Ben Revere will make the catch. 1 away. Gregor Blanco's coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thanks, Tom. Well, you know, when a team is struggling to get back to winning ways, there are lots of different things that you can look at for reasonings. And one of the things that jumped out at us is the Phil's inability to have shutdown innings, which basically means, you know, after your offense scores, like they did in the second, then you would then allow the team to come back and score in the next inning. So in terms of shutdown innings, Phil's just 69.6%. That's second worst in the National League. Means that 31% of the time after they score, they're allowing the opposing team to score as well. And if nothing else, that can be kind of deflating for an offense. So when it happens time and time again. So they get another chance here in the top of the 4th to shut the team down. It's been a problem. It was a problem in Game 1 against the Giants. You don't want to see it become a problem in this game as well.
Well, a good first step is getting Matt Duffy out. And now Blanco takes a strike. It's no balls and 2 strikes.
And you got Matt Duffy out on a pitch inside where he couldn't get his arms extended and jammed him to right field.
They intentionally walked Blanco his first time up. Down and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, it helps to have 7, 8, 9 up too for the opposition.
Certainly does.
When you look for that shutdown inning, and also when you get first ball, fastball, fly out to right field. 1 pitch, 1 out.
That one is popped up out towards second, and Utley's there, so 2 outs. During the 2015 season, Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the Phillies, will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Well, here's Vogelsong. He takes a strike. It's 0-1. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Phillies had Ryan Vogelsong in their system back in 2010. He was signed as a minor league free agent. Didn't last the entire year. 1-2 pitch. Outside 2-2. After they let him go, he went to the LA Angels, and then he went to Japan. So he's been all over the map. 2-2 pitch to Vogelsong. He fouls it over the dugout.
And a great teammate, caring teammate, always wanted to learn. He wants to learn, and he's still learning. You know, he's always picking people's brains of situational pitching.
Chopper out towards shortstop, and Freddy Galvis is up with it, and the side is retired. So a shutdown inning for Sean O'Sullivan. It's a 1-2-3, top of the 4th. We'll move to the bottom of the 4th inning with the game tied at 3. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer and visit DelValHondaDealers.com today. By Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. And by the Quality Plus Sports Stores. Go further. A nice day here, this nice Sunday afternoon. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. We're tied at 3. Phillies scored a run in the 3rd on the home run by Odubel Herrera. And now it'll be Freddy Galvis, Cameron Rupp, and Sean O'Sullivan who will start things off. Freddie flied out to left field his first time up, so he's 0 for 1.
Come on, Freddie, let's get in the act here, babe.
We saw a nice swing by Odubel Herrera earlier to tie this ball game up at 3. Cody Ashley had the 2-run single earlier in the game. That was part of Matt's key. Odubel and Freddie part of Mike's key. And he takes outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Today's game is also available in Spanish. Just use the SAP button on your television or change the language through the menu on your cable box. 1 ball, no strikes to Freddy Galvis. Outside, 2-0. Freddie taking a strike, and it's 2-1.
You know, speaking of Freddie's year, I know we've talked a little bit, enough today about the struggles he's been going through. But if you look at the scoreboard and you see 50 for 190, and if you just said in spring training, Freddie, 52, 53, 54 hits at 200 AB, point of the season, be pretty happy, right?
Very happy.
Yeah, it's still on pace for over 150 hits, if not 160 hits for the year. He pops out. There's 1 away. Cameron Rupp's coming up. Sunday, June 21st, when the Phillies take on the St. Louis Cardinals. It's Father's Appreciation Day. 1960s Phillies cap compliments of Chevrolet for men 15 and older. Order your tickets now by going to Phillies.com.
And that's another thing. I was with Larry. Larry talking to Freddie at first base and batting practice the other day, and he was trying to get that point home to Freddie, not to feel bad, not to feel down. He's not letting anybody down, and that where he's at's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's just that the problem with it is it's where he's come from, and like I say, if you could just play the game and play today and not look at scoreboard and not look at trends and stats, it'd be a lot easier.
We're gonna go old school. We're gonna take all of the graphics out. 0-1 to Cameron Rupp, who walked his first time up. Takes at the knees, 0-2. Cameron catching here today. It's his second game in this series. He's behind the plate. He caught Friday night's game. Outside, 1-2.
Well, I think if you see Cameron starting to hit a little bit more, you might see him in the lineup more than just maybe a Sunday game. You might mix in a 2 or 3, maybe a 3 game in a week. But he has to hit. We saw it in spring training. He's a very strong kid.
A little Evan Gaddis in him. If he got just, he's up in the box. He is not that far from. You take the batting gloves off of him, and you'd have Evan Gaddis, wouldn't you?
It'd be great if you have the home runs that Evan Gaddis is hitting.
I was going to say, minus the 16 or 17 home runs.
Yeah. He's thriving in those Crawford boxes down in Houston.
Who wouldn't in that ballpark?
There's Sean O'Sullivan on deck waiting. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Fouls it back to the screen, stays alive.
Well, Geddes does have 12 home runs, so I stand corrected.
Cameron has a really, really nice fundamental base to work off of to become a good hitter.
Quiet hitter, not a lot of movement, strong as an ox. can drive the ball to right field.
And he stays alive again. That one off the glove of Posey, a foul ball.
Cameron actually challenged me to a race on Twitter the other day.
Oh, did he really?
When he came from first to home on a double hit by Williams. Talk was about who was quicker. So he verbally challenged me to, as I saw you go from first to home, I'll sit in the booth. You got me.
So you're giving in already without even getting down there, getting your sneakers on.
Smart.
Off the hands out towards short. Caught on the short hop by Crawford. Yeah, there are 2 outs.
Doesn't he have a Texas football background?
High school football, yeah. He's a Longhorn college-wise. So 1 away, and here is Sean O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan sacrificed his first time up.
Vogelsong must have seen O'Sullivan take BP, because you serve up a fastball to this kid, he can hit it a mile.
He hit one, what was it, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
Just below the Jefferson.
He absolutely did.
Yeah, and it was 2 pitches after he got drilled in BP.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I won't say who was throwing batting practice.
Rod Nichols. Oh. I will.
Let's just say he wore one in the ribs, and 2 pitches later he hit one off the Jefferson sign to left, second deck left center.
Yeah, he was crushing the ball the other day in BP.
He has a good swing.
Grossmont Junior College, 400 hitter. 1-2 pitch to O'Sullivan. And he's down looking on strikes, and the side is retired. So each pitcher has exchanged 1, 2, 3, 4th innings. We've completed 4. Cardinal O'Hara marching band is in the house. We'll go to the 5th inning. The Phillies and the Giants tied at 3. The fans trivia quiz answer. All right, guys, here we go. Bruce Bochy has the most wins by an active manager with 1,650. Who is number 2 among active managers?
Is it an American League umpire?
It is not an American League umpire. Nope.
Manager?
It is an American League manager, yes.
Mike Scioscia?
Mike Scioscia is correct.
Good boy. Mike knew that one.
Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of Phillies prize pack. There you see it. 1,359. I don't think Scioscia's going to get 1,360 today.
I forgot about Showalter. I was thinking Terry Francona. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, Francona's got over 1,200. Clint Hurdle's been around for a while. Rockies and the Pirates. Here's Aoki, who is 0 for 2. It's flat out to left, grounded out. And it's 1 ball and no strikes.
You get a good game offensively as a team if you turn your lineup over in perfect form. Their leadoff hitter now will have led off 3 straight innings, correct?
Yep. Yeah, they got him the first 2 times. On the outside corner, it's 2-1. Giants as a team have hit over 300 in these 2 games so far. Not counting today, or I should say counting today. They've scored 15 runs in 3 games. That one's whacked out toward right. Ben Revere comes in and he kicks the ball out of his glove. And Aoki will be aboard. He scored a single.
I'll tell you what, if you watch Aoki, he almost is a mirror of Odubel Herrera. His stance, his leg kick, his swing. Watch, look at this. Doesn't that look like Odubel?
Very similar.
Yeah.
Might be a little lower.
Anyway, look at that level. Look how level that bat is through that ball. See that? You know, that's where we'd like to get our shortstop, right there.
Mm-hmm. I saw Odubel do that.
That's where we'd like to get everybody, actually.
And by the way, Revere had that. The ground sort of knocked it out of his glove. So Aoki with his 69th hit of the season. Ben's kind of going through the form again.
And I thought that as soon as the ball came off the bat, there was no chance Ben had an opportunity to catch that ball in right field. But his jump, his speed made up for it.
Well, you know, if you have to leave your feet and you're on a dive, then you know anything can happen. When you hit the ground, it could come out.
As an outfitter, I used to put a lot of pine tar on my glove. A lot of rosin pine tar to make it sticky. So when you make a running catch or a catch like that, it'd stick in there.
So the ground could cause the fumble.
Right.
Yeah. And it would work.
I didn't get to a lot of balls, but when I did, it didn't come out. And also, I'd always have pine tar on my pants for sticky so I could throw it better.
Figured they'd probably blame the pitcher anyway, so why?
That's why I have a hard time with pitchers that put pine tar on their neck or on their forearm or wherever it's going to be, because 3/4 of the catchers in Major League Baseball have pine tar in their glove. So when the ball hits the glove, it's getting pine tar on it no matter what.
Down the right field line, foul. It's 1-1. So the pine tar's in the pocket of the glove.
Yes.
Not on the outside.
Pudge Rodriguez would have pine tar inside because when he did the exchange, the ball wouldn't be slippery. He'd come up and show that cannon to second base or to third base or to first base, picking guys off.
Aoki, 12 stolen bases, tied for 5th in the National League in that category. He's been caught 5 times. You got a guy with a tremendous arm behind home plate, so those tosses over to first giving Cameron Rupp a chance.
Well, and Cameron, just not with the cannon, but very good mechanics. Quick feet, great release. He doesn't rush things.
Good running count right here. Big hole between first and second. Got the right hitter. See what happens.
So did you think more of a running hit instead of a hit and run?
I'm a big fan of the hit and run.
I am too.
That one's pulled through the right side. Aoki was not going on the pitch, so he'll stop at second. And now the Giants have runners on first and second with nobody out here in the 5th inning. On the road traveling and want to watch the Phils? Subscribe to MLB.TV Premium for live or on demand on over 400 devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and more. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. So a quick meeting out on the mound between Cameron Rupp and Sean O'Sullivan.
Some managers are sort of anti-hit and run. I've seen them in the past, you know, when played for them, and others love it.
Why would they be anti-hit and run, Mike? Is it they're afraid of hitting into a double play or something like that? Like
for a lot of reasons, I guess, to you know, force a hitter to swing possibly at a bad pitch, give up an out, hit into a double play. I'm not sure. I think forcing a hitter to, you know, to put the ball on the ground hard creates more line drive swings, creates movement, the defense. I think it's an underused offensive weapon.
Great point. I agree 100% with you. And you don't think. It's a reaction.
Pedro Pagan doubled a home run his last time up, then came around to score on a fielder's choice.
There's just an offensive mentality as a hitter to the hit and run that creates, you know, a more fundamentally sound swing at the ball. You know, if you put the hit and run on, the hitter's, you know, got in his mind that he wants to execute what the manager wants you to execute. So I guarantee you, if you put the hit and run on a hitter in a 2-0 count, 2-1 count, he's not going to swing for a home run.
Yeah, he's trying to get to the hole somehow.
Yeah, he's going to take a productive swing, which a lot of times ends up with the home run or the double in the gap. Doesn't always have to be a ground ball. I mean, you're not taught to have to hit the ball behind the runner. You're taught to just hit the ball hard.
1 ball, 1 strike. Runners take their lead. And that one misses low. 2-1. O'Sullivan wanted that. Mark Wagner's had a pretty good strike zone today. There was a lot of discussion about yesterday's strike zone. Mike Winters was behind the plate yesterday. And that one's a liner out toward right field. Revere is there, makes the catch, and quickly gets the throw in. Aoki was about, I don't know, about 12, 13 feet off the bag and couldn't get back. He was thinking about tagging it all.
We had that same play the other night with Pagan, did we not? Line shot to Revere in right field. The runner on second when nobody out didn't tag up. That kind of hung out there 15, 20 feet off the bag, couldn't get back.
Yeah, it was Pagan in the 3rd inning the other night. Yep. Well, that'll bring Buster Posey to the plate.
Well, I don't think that's bad base running because it's a line drive where Ben Revere's coming in. There's no way you can go back in time, tag at second base, and get to third base. And I don't care who's in right field. That's the easiest throw because your momentum's going towards the base. You could have a Johnny Damon arm. You know. Ben Revere is showing that he has a better arm in the corners.
So you're saying that you need to be able to, if he one hops that ball and really has a good arm, there's a chance he could force you at third if you stay too close to second base.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, if you're going back thinking he's going to be able to tag automatically and he doesn't make the catch in the air, a lot of good right fielders will throw you out at third base.
Out of play. It's 0-1 to Posey.
Well, that's kind of where these new ballparks are tough. Some of the old unwritten rules of base running don't apply because the parks are so small. A lot of times the singles become line drives to the right fielder.
Posey today is 0 for 2. And he's down, no balls and 2 strikes. Ground out to short his first time up, and then a fielder's choice his last time. Playing a Major League scoreboard, the Pirates on top of the Braves 3-0. That game's in the top of the 5th inning. Josh Harrison, a double and a run scored for Pittsburgh. Braves are currently 2.5 games out in the National League East, 27-28. Somehow they've been able to maintain close to a 500 record with all their changes. 0-2 pitch. Drags it over to third. Franco will wait for it. Gets to the bag. Throws to first. In time to get Posey. A 5-3 double play. And the side is retired. Well, he's fortunate he had Posey running, but Smart waits for it. Gets to the bag, and then the motion just takes him right over to first to finish up the top of the 5th inning. The play of the game. We just saw it with Michael Franco over at third base.
Yeah, he had a tailor-made double play ball, and then first and second as a third baseman, sit to your right there. All I got to do is throw him out at first, and on the way, touch third.
Great arm.
Inning over, and that is the Hyundai defensive play of the game.
We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Ben Revere will lead things off. He's 0 for 2. He is struck out. He's also grounded out to third. Ryan Vogelsong so far has allowed the 3 runs on 5 hits. 2-run single by Cody Ashley, and then the home run by Odubel Herrera. No balls and 1 strike to Revere.
And we also have our leadoff man leading off in the 5th inning. Not the 3rd straight time, but it's good to have your leadoff man leading off.
Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Matt, when you were teammates with Ryan Vogelsong,
yes, sir,
and you were talking about him being a power pitcher, he couldn't decide what he wanted to be. What were they trying to tell him to be? Is there anything that stood out?
No, because he was going up and down the minor leagues, big leagues, and really, he was just trying to figure out, what he wanted to be.
Tapper to third. Duffy's up with it. 1 away. Do you think he's a combination of both now?
I think now he's a pitcher. We're back. Then I thought he was just a thrower. Now he can pitch to corners. He does a very nice job of adding, subtracting on the fastball. It's almost like a Zach Greinke. Zach Greinke with the Kansas City Royals was the exact same way. He could throw 98, or he could throw 91 with the big curveball.
Similar to Aaron Harang.
Aaron Harang.
Breaking ball, and that's in there. It's 0-1 to Herrera, who homered his last time up. Well, back when he was still trying to find his way, when he was with Pittsburgh and was drafted originally by the San Francisco Giants, he would average allowing more than a hit per inning pitch. His whip was a lot higher, and now those numbers are down.
Well, I think what happens is the velocity goes down, you learn how to pitch. I think guys that used to throw very hard were just throwers, and they weren't pitchers back in the day.
Or you become an automobile salesman or insurance salesman or a coach.
There's the 1-1 pitch to Herrera. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. He's pretty much maintained, I mean, his walks are down too, but he's pretty much maintained his strikeout total if you do it across the season. Out of play. And the other thing too, he's with a better team.
And a very good catcher.
Well, last time Herrera was up, he was bringing the lumber. Brought to you by Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. On this home run, the second of the year, 433 feet. And a strike 3 call. 7 in a row retired by Ryan Vogelsong.
Good location on a fastball down the zone, right to the glove. And we had some stats that were looked up. That's the 13th strikeout looking this series. Now take it, there was 9 yesterday. 13 strikeouts looking.
3 of them have come here today with Vogelsong. Utley takes a little low, 1-0.
Well, Matt, God knows I've struck out looking more than that whole roster of players down there in that dugout. But there has never been a more true axiom in baseball, and you know what it is, right? I'll start it, you finish it. Close enough to call.
You better swing.
Off the end of the bat, out toward left center. And Pagan says he has it. And the side is retired. Phillies go down in order for a second straight inning. That's 8 in a row retired by Ryan Vogelsong. We've completed 5. We'll move to the top of the 6th inning in a 3-3 game. Swinging his bat into the 3rd month of the season as he did from the leadoff spot a season ago. Tough times at the plate in April turned into productive results in May. Back at the top of the order, Ben sets the table and sets the pace for Phil's offense, looking for a burst of energy. He's moved from center field to left and over to right. He's delivering from all corners of the outfield. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, the Galapagos gang decided to go a little bowling today, and Iggy is the ball and everybody else are the pins. He was able to roll a strike. Pretty easy when there's only 3, I guess.
That poor turtle took a while to get up.
Yeah, the turtle had a little trouble getting back off its shell. Fanatic didn't know what to do. Well, they've been a great addition to the Fanatic shtick, usually on Sundays, but throughout the week on the concourse and around the ballpark, the Galapagos gang. Here's Brandon Belt. Belt is 1 for 2 as we begin the top of the 6th inning, the final game of this 3-game series, the Phillies and the Giants. Giants will have an off day tomorrow, and then we'll take on the Mets beginning Tuesday night. 1 ball, 1 strike. Phils will head to Cincinnati. Take on the Reds for 3 games. Have an off day on Thursday in Pittsburgh.
Where are you playing?
We have a variety of places that we have lined up.
Little Oakmont action?
Oakmont was too crowded on Thursday, Mike. Unfortunately. 4-3 is the put out. And here's Brandon Crawford. Crawford is 1 for 2. He's doubled. He's also lined out. Well, there's no doubt that the Phillies need O'Sullivan to keep this pace going. Because as we mentioned yesterday, the starters have gone 6 innings or less 26 times this year. Severino 2 2/3 yesterday. Jerome Williams 4 1/3 the day before. Aaron Harang surprisingly 5 2/3 in his last start. One ball, no strikes. Down the left field line, that's slicing. Franco gives it a look and he runs out of room.
Now you've seen Crawford more than I, but is he a bigger, heavier guy now than he was the last couple of years? I mean, where does power output come from?
I wouldn't say he's bigger. I mean, stronger, because these guys are in the gym 24/7 hours, 24/7. Honestly, I think he picks times to try to hit home runs. He's become a smarter hitter.
I guess that's the hope of everybody as they progress, is that they become, they take their natural abilities and add the smarts to it as well. Kind of what you were talking about before, Mike, that you learn from mistakes, you learn from struggles, and you kind of build on it as you get more experience. Utley to his left. And there are 2 outs. The W.B. Mason collectible Phillies truck is making another appearance on Saturday, June 27th, when the Phillies take on the Washington Nationals. It's free to fans 14 and under. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. You see the Phillies logo on top of that truck.
Is that the one I was driving last year?
That was the one you were driving last year, yeah. Might get you to use that during the season. Drive it around Philadelphia, back to Canada, all those other places that you like to go.
Cincinnati tonight. You need anything picked up on Matt's way out to Cincinnati, Mike, from your hometown or anything like that? He has to go through it.
Are you driving?
Yep.
Duffy's 0 for 2, ground out, an RBI, fly out. Takes a breaking ball, low, it's 2-0.
Sure, you'll spend some time on I-75.
That I will.
Out toward left center field, Revere or Odubel Herrera on the run, and he gets it on 1 hop. And Duffy's on his way to second, and he'll get there sliding. So a 2-out double. His 8th double of the year.
Well, it looked like he made the adjustment there on the fastball inside, and maybe he didn't get it in quite far enough. Got him out the first 2 times today. Got his hands through that ball, pulled him in. This is natural hitting.
Yeah. Does a very nice job keeping his hands inside the baseball. Hands tighter, closer to the body, not casting away. I thought Herrera might have had a chance to catch that ball in left center.
Yeah, once it left the bat, I thought there was a chance he could catch it.
I thought it was going to hang up for a little bit.
Well, as Matt Duffy continues to open up eyes playing third base, they're going to walk Blanco intentionally. And pitch to Ryan Vogelsong. It'll be the second time he's intentionally walked here this afternoon. So Vogelsong will bat with runners on first and second. Araujo warming up in the bullpen. I guess that's in case they get to Aoki.
This is where they can speed up the game. I know I mentioned it, I think, earlier this year or last year. In Mexico, when you intentionally walk somebody, you throw one pitch, he goes to first base automatically.
That's how it is in high school. It's they say, all right, we're going to walk this guy intentionally, and he's just going to go down to first base.
Interesting. I can see Bob Boone reaching out and poking a single to knock the guy in from third base at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh. Now that you're mentioning that.
Cabrera from Detroit when he was with Miami.
Did he do it in Baltimore? I remember him doing it at one time. For some reason, the Orioles down in Camden Yards comes to mind.
I think the answer to that next time you come up in that situation is they just drill you.
I was going to say.
If you want to, reach across home plate and hit an intentional.
Did you guys expect Booney to do that day? Did he shock everybody?
Booney wasn't afraid to do anything. And actually, I think it was a big run in that game that day. But he's staying right next to home plate and just dare you to get one that he throw one he could reach.
A 1 pitch to Vogelsong, and he pulls it out towards shortstop on one hop to Freddy Galvis. And the decision was the right one. 6-3 put out. Giants lead 2. Giants have left 6. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Phillies and San Francisco tied it 3. And you can't go wrong when you buy right. Buy Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop Nissan.com. And buy the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Well, the country of Canada has given us a lot of great things, including Matt Stairs, but I can't say that Canadian geese are at the top of that list, Matt. You guys can take those back if you want to.
I'll take them. They're beautiful animals. They're not real friendly on the golf course, but
depends on if you have a club in your hand or not. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Ryan Howard is 2 for 2. He has singled. He's also doubled today. Against Ryan Vogelsong, it's a 3-3 game. Final game of this 3-game series.
I've lived with those Canadian geese my entire life. Or I should say my adult life. In Philadelphia where I lived, the big lake behind the house. Yep. Canadian geese all the time. Where I live now in Rhode Island, Canadian geese landing all the time. It's a beautiful thing seeing them set their wings and coming in for a landing.
We have a lake by our house that's filled with them. 1-0 pitch to Howard, and Howard fouls it back to our left and into the Hall of Fame club. Great catch by a fan, one-handed grab. Vogelsong won 4 games in the month of May, had an earned run average of 1.14. The opposition hit just 184 against him. Totally different than April when his earned run average was 9.31. Said he had a bullpen session with Dave Righetti and Mark Gardner, their bullpen coach. And they told him to stop trying to guide the ball to the spot and let the ball's natural movement take it to that spot. That one is lined out towards center field. Pagan comes in and makes the catch.
Similar play to Ben Revere, except Pagan held on.
Well, what a way. Here's Maikel Franco. And speaking of Franco, Murph, it's been a pretty nice turnaround for him on this homestand.
Yeah, it's been really good to see, Tom. 22 games into his season this year at the big league level, and he really seems to have started to settle in and feel like he belongs here. And you just take a look at the numbers, and you can see that. He's the subject of our Lowe's Never Stop Improving player profile. 16 games in the month of May, 194, the 2 home runs, and a slugging percentage of .339. Then you turn the calendar to June, and that's really been this homestand. 6 games, .409, 3 home runs. Look at that slugging percentage of .995. That is something that you'll take, and it's been a great homestand for him. He's been a big part of the reason why the Phils were able to get a couple of wins on this homestand against the Reds, and hopefully he can keep that up.
Yeah, he had a double his first time up, and a run scored. He popped out his last time, 1 for 2 overall. But nice to watch. He's been nice to watch defensively too over at third. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike to Franco. He'll be followed by Cody Ashe.
Matt, we talked about keeping the hands back. Mikhail's a good example of a hitter. His success comes a great deal from his hands being stretched back toward that umpire. His first move as the pitcher's releasing the ball is a little stretch back. If you'll watch that. It allows his body to be out, like you talked about earlier. Your body can be a little bit out of a position or spent, and you can, if you're fooled, you still can hit the ball hard if you keep your hands back.
That one's popped up foul behind home plate. It's 3-2.
It's almost to the point where you think about taking your hands and pass them straight back towards the umpire. That's the perfect angle you want to go to. Like, here you go, Mr. Umpire, take my bat for me.
Exactly. See how his hands stretch back? It's almost, you know what? I use golf as an example a lot of times. That's what Rory McIlroy does when he hits a tee shot. His hands just hang back as long as they can, and he creates great leverage because he pushes his hands up. His first move before the swing.
He gets struck out here. It's the 4th strikeout for Vogelsong.
And this is just the fastball that beats him. It's 92 mile an hour. Location's very good. And that's a swing right there. You're hoping you foul off.
Well, he's going to be a great one. But as he gains more experience with the 2-strike, in a 2-strike situation like that, he'll go to more of I call it a choke and poke. Yep. Protect the plate, spoil a good pitch like that approach. That's when you'll get his 290 to 310 batting average to go along with the production.
So ball's 1 strike to Cody Ashe, who is 1 for 2. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Ashe drove in 2 in the second with a bloop single to left field, and then grounded out to shortstop his last time, softly hit off the mound.
Some time Cody gets a changeup down and in or something and hits that Budweiser sign.
I think we'll take that. 2-1.
Pretty good pitch at 2-1. They call a pitcher's pitch.
He fed the outside part of the plate in a really nice way. As she pulls that one right past Juan Samuel, and it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Happy young lady. And a strike 3 called. 5 strikeouts for Vogelsong. 4 strikeouts looking. And the Phillies go down 1-2-3. That's 11 in a row set down by the Giants right-hander. It's time now for your Delaware Valley Honda Dealers game summary. The Phillies and the Giants tied at 3. Ryan Vogelsong has retired 11 consecutive Phillies. He's gone 6 innings, has 5 strikeouts. Sean O'Sullivan, 6 innings today, 7 hits and 3 earned runs. He's done. They will go to the bullpen, and Elvis Araujo will be the new pitcher, 1-1 with an ERA of 1.86. And Araujo will face the top of the order. You got 2 lefties, or 3 lefties, I should say. Aoki, Panic, and then Angel Pagan. There's Sean O'Sullivan. Not a bad job here today. These guys, the first 2 guys have combined for 3 hits and a run scored against O'Sullivan as the first pitch is fouled away. Out toward left field, and Kodiashi will retire Aoki for the 2nd time today. These lucky fans are today's Citizen 7. They were to receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Good banking is simple, clear, and personal, and that's helping you bank better. So Panik is 2 for 3. He has doubled, he's singled, and he flied out to left. Ken Giles is warming up in the bullpen, just starting to loosen up. First pitch is at the knees. It's 0-1. Papelbon is just gazing. He's not warming up. Off the end of the bat and into center field, a base hit. That's 3 hits now for Panik today. He's going to slide into the leaderboard in the National League in hitting with his efforts here this afternoon.
Yes, and it also changes the whole scope of the inning for the Phillies.
We'll see what Giles does now. They want Pagan to bat right-handed.
Yeah, but they're going to get down to Posey now.
Yep.
Unless they can induce him into a double play.
There is Posey on deck, and Pagan, who has 1 hit today, an RBI double, run scored. He's 1 for 3. Good play by Rupp, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. Certainly missed his spot on that one.
Yeah, it was a good play. Cutter inside. And you have to one-hand it. You never know if it hits the dirt. Boom. Really change the scope of the inning.
Yeah, go right back to the backstop a lot of times. See, Pagan's number is 386 against left-handers. In the dirt again.
Tougher play this time.
Yep.
Another cutter pulled down in. Big mouth, nice soft hands, catching it. Keeping the double play in order still.
And now 3-1. Giles is standing on top of the mound out in the bullpen. He may be ready to go. He's going to have to be if they're going to bring him in to face Posey. Fly ball down the right field line. Revere will give it a look, and it's going to slice out of play.
Interesting situation here, Matt.
Just thinking that.
You start the runner, left-handed pitcher, won't get a really good jump.
Well, the problem is if he strikes him out and he steals second base, you're walking Posey to get the belt, who's a left-handed hitter.
Well, they toss over. So that Xfinity sign, every time a Phillies pitcher retires the opposition, 1, 2, 3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies.
I would think he has the stop sign. He's not going.
I would agree.
Ooh, close pitch. Ball 4. That puts runners on first and second. Cameron Rupp steps in front of the plate. They're going to go on the phone to see if Giles is ready to go. And Ryan Sandberg's heading out for a double switch here. We'll stop and talk to Mark Wagner. So they will bring in Giles to face Buster Posey. And Darren Ruff is going to come in to play left field, I do believe.
You are correct.
And Cody Ashley is going to exit. So pitching change here at Citizens Bank Park. Phillies and the Giants tied at 3. Kenny Giles T-shirt was given out today to fans 14 and under, and now those fans will get a chance to see him throw against the Giants. Here at the top of the 7th inning, one man down, and a pitching change for the Phils. Time for our cold hard fact, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Mike, did you remember this? On this date in '83, Steve Carlton overtakes Nolan Ryan as MLB's all-time strikeout leader. His strikeout of Lonnie Smith, who was playing for the Cardinals at the time, brought his career total to 3,522, finishing, of course, with 41-36, fourth all-time on the strikeout list.
Yeah, and Nolan went crazy on him, didn't he, after that? 5,000 and some crazy number of strikeouts.
Well, Nolan just is remarkable in his endurance.
5,714.
114.
Yeah, wow. I was, well, I got to say I'm somewhere in the...
You there somewhere?
20 to 25 range. Did my share.
There's Buster Posey, and the first pitch in the dirt, backhanded by Rupp. 1 ball, no strikes. See Giles' numbers: 1-1, a 2.31 earned run average.
There's 2 guys in baseball that I always wanted to face. One was Nolan Ryan, and the other one was Fergie Jenkins. Because I would have absolutely loved to take the 3 biggest swings and strike out, and I thought it would have been awesome.
And maybe make contact there at some point.
No.
Oh, you wanted to strike out?
I would have overswing.
2-0.
Well, the harder you swung against Nolan Ryan, the less chance you had of hitting it. That's for sure.
Harder you swung, the better chance you had of him saying something to you, too, about it. Runners take their lead off first and second here in the top of the 7th inning. That one's floated out towards shallow right field. Utley says he has it, and he makes the catch. 2 outs.
That's a big out right there. A slider on the end of the bat. Suppose he must have been looking fastball and got a slider. It's a big out.
Well, now it's Brandon Belt, a left-handed batter who is 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored here today. Mike, you underestimated yourself. 16 strikeouts against Nolan Ryan.
That's all.
That's it. Out to left field. Darren Rupp just into the game for Kodiashi. Back toward the fence, and he makes the catch as he slams into the tee in Xfinity. He stayed with it, and that ends the top of the 7th inning. He's got to catch his breath now. He watched it the whole way. The fence caught him. He just wished there might have been another step or two before the fence caught him. It's set for the bottom of the 7th inning. The Phillies will still be facing Ryan Vogelsong of the Giants. 2015's Food Service Breakout Player of the Year is W.B. Mason, providing amazingly low prices on kitchen disposables, consumables, smallwares, and so much more from your new restaurant partner. Who but W.B. Mason? Well, Vogelsong will face the bottom of the Phillies order, but it includes Darren Ruff. Ruff was brought on as part of a double switch and made the final out in left field. Did a great job tracking that fly ball, and he came off the wall a little slow after he barreled right into the Xfinity sign.
Yeah, he did. He said, "Ooh,
yeah,
there's a wall there," and he kind of like jammed. I hope he didn't hurt himself jamming his shoulder into the wall, but that's a play you got to make.
Also, you got to realize, as soon as you hit that warning track, it's usually 2 good strides, and you're hitting the wall. And he almost pulled a Butch Husky. Remember Minnesota? He turned him after a fly ball, and he didn't even slow down.
And then the next day they had the tape out there.
You see right here, he's just there. Boom!
My favorite one of all time is the one in Portland where the guy ran right through the fence.
You know, the anniversary of that was just was it Rodney McRae or Scooter McRae?
Rodney McRae.
The anniversary of that was just a couple weeks ago.
He's not going through the wall there because there's a lot of padding, but he is kissing the tee.
Well, it was a nice play. I mean, he just put it in as part of that double switch, and he'll bat here in the bottom of the 7th inning. You've done that before, Matt. You were out in the outfield. I mean, it doesn't always feel that good.
It stops you very quickly.
Well, Vogelsong has retired 11 straight. There's Darren. Looks like he's caught his breath. Freddy Galvis is 0 for 2. He's flied out and he's popped out. And that one is out toward right center field, and the streak is over. Hitless in his last 31 at-bats, and Freddy Galvis gets a base hit to begin the bottom of the 7th inning. And now he can exhale. You forget that that's the longest hitless streak since Raul Ibanez. I had totally forgotten about this, that Ibanez back in 2011 went 0 for 35.
Now all the good-natured ribbing starts, right?
Yeah.
Get the ball, all those kind of things. Right?
Okay, now that would be funny if they did that.
I asked the ball, and I had the base hit. I was 0 for 30. I think I was 0 for 32 here in 09.
Did you hit the home run? Break it?
Grand slam, but I still want the ball.
There's Cameron Rupp. And Rupp bunts in the air, and it's going to be for a base hit, or drop at least for a sacrifice. It's going to be a base hit. I got ahead of myself there. I forgot that he's quicker than you, Matt.
Well, an ugly bunt turned into a base hit, first and second.
A little teardrop right in the middle of no man's land. He always said he could bunt for a base hit.
He wasn't lying.
You know, they actually still had time to get him. If they'd let the pitcher run after the ball and turn and throw to first, he stopped.
Yeah, but then he kicked it in. Look at that.
You might get another tweet in the next couple of days, Matt. Say, see, I told you.
Very good chance.
How do you score that?
That's a base hit?
Base hit.
I know it's a base hit.
Well, you put a couple of notes next to it. You put 1B, bunt, bloop.
Teardrop.
There's Chase Utley after the Galvis hit. He wants the ball.
Well, he wasn't too demonstrative with that. He just was kind of thinking it.
No, David.
Did you catch Freddie right there? All his buddies were saying, get the ball, sign it for him. Yeah, you got it. There it is. See, it wasn't that serious. All of them. Who thinks an 0 for 30 is a big deal, right?
Exactly.
One base hit and it's over. That'd jump your batting average, what, another 4 or 5 points?
You'll take that.
266.
Now the big question is Darren Ruff, did he go into the game to bunt?
Not in the 7th inning.
Third baseman Matt Duffy is even with the bag. The runners lead off, and he hits it softly toward the left side. Excuse me. Duffy to second for one. Over to first. 5-4-3 double play. So a runner at third with 2 men down. And here's Ben Revere. Oh, it was a heck of a pitch by Vogelsong.
That's true. The ball was right in on his hands, and Darren took a hack at it and did just about what you surely don't want to see. Give the pitcher credit for making a great pitch.
Revere is 0 for 3, trying to get that run home from third. The Phillies and the Giants tied at 3. Giants have one more hit than the Phils. Tomorrow night at 6, Derek Gunn gives you the scoop on the Eagles OTAs and what is going on around the NFL. Watch Quick Slants presented by Nissan only on Comcast Sportsnet. Here takes outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Vogelsong has had an easy time with Ben Revere here today. Matt Duffy continues to play in on the grass at third because that's where the last 2 balls have gone off the bat of Revere.
Trying to figure out why the right-hander in the bullpen for San Francisco is still warming up.
Think he should save his bullets?
Yeah, this is Vogelsong's last hitter. You got Herrera, Utley, Howard.
Yeah. Well, let's see if Ben Revere can do something against Ryan Vogelsong here.
The only thing I can think of is he's the 4th hitter next inning, the pitcher spot, but I wouldn't be letting him pitch to Revere.
Vogelsong, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure I'd have let him pitch to Ruff.
In the dirt, ball 4. So Revere is aboard. And here comes Bruce Bochy. And that's going to be it for Ryan Vogelsong. So he goes 6 2/3. And I would think Lopez, the lefty's coming in to face the left-hander Odubel Herrera. So we've got a pitching change here at Citizens Bank Park. Phillies and the Giants tied up at 3. Sunday, June 28th. For fans 14 and under, it's the Fanatic alternate style jersey. Compliments of Pico. Tickets can be purchased for that ball game by going to Phillies.com. It's a great giveaway. Fanatic is about to lead the Cardinal O'Hara, at least 10 members of the Cardinal O'Hara band, onto the dugout once this inning comes to a close. He's hoping that the Phillies will have the lead when he does that, because they have runners on first and third with 2 men down. Odubel Herrera was scheduled to bat, but instead it's going to be Jeff Francoeur facing Javier Lopez. Lopez, a 1.23 ERA, 10 strikeouts in 14 2/3. So Ryan Sandberg counters with the righty Jeff Francoeur, who is 4 for 8 as a pinch hitter this year. Leads off the first pitch. It's in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Vogelsong goes 6 2/3. He allows 7 hits. He's responsible for the 2 base runners, 3 runs so far. Inside. Well, this is what Francoeur did yesterday. He had a little excitement to this ballgame. It was 6-0 at this point.
And he crushes a fastball inside for his first grand slam since 2006.
Amazing.
Made the ball game about 6-4 at that time.
6-4. Giants tacked on another run thanks to the base hit by Madison Bumgarner. And that one is pulled down the left field line, and Francoeur comes through again. Galvis will score. Going to third is Revere. He's being waved home. Here's the throw by Crawford to the plate. Not in time! 2-run double for Jeff Francoeur. And the Phillies take a 5-3 lead.
Very timely hit. Mr. Big Hit, Jeff Francoeur.
Boy, he went down and got that pitch.
See Pete waving Ben. It's actually a perfect relay. The Elkin makes a very strong throw to Crawford, comes up firing to home, but the right guy is running from first base.
And Francoeur goes to third on the throw. Ben Revere's trying to catch his breath. I mean, he basically did a belly flop into home plate. First pitch to Utley is in there. It's 0-1. Well, how about Jeff Francoeur? 5 for 9 right now as a pinch hitter. I mean, his contributions have been vast this year on so many levels. Utley fouls it off his foot. It's 0-2.
They sure have opportunists. I don't know how you keep him out of the lineup, actually. Great defensive outfielder. You're getting a lot out of Jeff Francoeur this year.
6 RBIs this series. The grand slam yesterday, the 2-run double today. 20 RBIs overall.
Well, chasing an 0-2 count right here, trying to get that next run, get Francoeur across home plate. He's got a tough task right here, but you know he'll get his nose down in there now and do the best he can to put the ball in play.
Hitless in his career against Lopez. Swing and a miss, and Utley is struck out. Side is retired, but the damage is done. A 2-run pinch hit double by Jeff Francoeur. He goes down to get it, pulls it to the corner in left. Pete Buchanan made the decision to send Ben Revere. It was the right one. And Ben was able to get home ahead of the throw by Brandon Crawford and help the Phils to a 5-3 lead. Try McDonald's new sirloin third-pound burgers. Choose from 3 varieties at $4.99 each. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And buy Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota. Let's go places. Phillies lead at 5-3. We go to the top of the 8th inning. Thanks to the 2-run double by Jeff Francoeur, who remains in the game and is out in right field. Ben Revere moves from right field to center field. First pitch to Brandon Crawford's a strike. It's 0-1. Giles came in to get the last 2 outs in the 7th inning. In the dirt. Way in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, here's that shutdown inning we've talked about earlier. Murph bringing up that graphic.
That was a good slider. He checked. No swings, says Mike Winters. He's trying to get this game to Papelbon in the 9th inning. That'll be over the Giants dugout and out of play. 2-2. All right, so we've watched these Giants this weekend. Do they have enough to catch the Dodgers? You think they're a half game behind the Dodgers? That National League West is, kind of up for grabs in a lot of ways. You look at where the teams are. 6 games separate the top team and the bottom team. But the Padres are 3.5 out. Arizona's 4.5 out.
What I've seen so far, I mean, Smitty said it from the get-go that these guys go out and battle every day and give you good at-bats. And I think the big question is the starting rotation strong enough? They're set pretty good in the bullpen.
Crawford tries to check. He thinks he went around. He's not even going to wait for the appeal. He'll go back to the dugout. 1 out. Matt Duffy's coming up. Let's check in with Murph with the Major League Notebook. Murph.
All right. Thank you very much, Tom. Presented by St. Joseph's University. And a day after winning horse racing's Triple Crown, jockey Victor Espinoza threw out the first pitch at Yankee Stadium this afternoon. Espinoza, of course, rode American Pharaoh to the first Triple Crown in 37 years in horse racing history. The last one to do that was affirmed, of course, 37 years ago. So he was honored today at Yankee Stadium. Also at Yankee Stadium today, a big milestone for Albert Pujols. He had a first inning home run, number 535, puts him sole possession of 17th place on that home run list. He just passed Jimmy Fox for 17th place. Next up, 536 would be Mickey Mantle, and then after that, 548, Mike Jack Schmidt. Guys.
Mike Jack.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever been called Mike Jack.
No, that's not true.
Michael Jack.
Michael Jack? Mike Jack.
What am I, 16th or something? Wow, I retired. I think it's 7th place.
Yeah, 16th right now.
Whoa, they're going by me.
No,
fast.
15th. No, you're 15th, I think.
That pitch is up high, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. All right, Murph, we'll go to the information superhighway.
It's 15th. Because Mantle's 16th.
Correct.
If Pujols is now 17th.
Pujols' home run today followed a Mike Trout home run. Another one of his first inning home runs for the Angels. He hits a lot of those. Pujols' was a towering shot to left field. Trout's was not a towering shot.
More probably of a missile.
It was a missile.
Yeah.
Who do we have on the home run horizon? 500 home run horizon. Isn't Beltre?
Beltre just hit 400.
Big Poppy.
That one just missed outside. So Duffy's aboard with a 1-out walk.
David Ortiz must be. What does he have?
Well, we'll give you that number in just a second.
Back to that question about do they have enough to win that division to
Yeah.
catch the Dodgers? I tell you, that bats like that one we just saw right now. That's what they continue to do. They, like Matt said, they're going to battle the heck out of you. You got Hunter Pence coming back, who's not in the lineup this series. Adds another bat. You know the status of Matt Cain?
Kane is rehabbing right now. They're hoping he's going to be back. Now, whether he's back the way he used to be, I think remains to be seen.
And you know what? You carry that on your chest, defending champion, world champion, everywhere you go. It elevates your level of play. Yeah, I would never count this Giants team out.
The throw over to first. The first one didn't count because time was called. Matt, you are right. 472 for David Ortiz. He's next. And then Miguel Cabrera has 402.
At age, what, 24?
Adrian Beltre has 401. That one's in there. And no balls and 1 strike to Blanco. There is a name that's on the list that's highlighted that has over 400 home runs. It's 434. Do you know who that is? He's highlighted. He's not on anybody's roster right now, but he must not have submitted his paperwork for retirement.
Just wait. Give me a second to think of this one.
All right. As gifted an outfielder as I think we saw during his youth.
Yes, I know who you're talking about. Atlanta Braves.
Yep. Swing and a miss. Blanco is struck out. Andrew Jones. I say that without knowing whether he is officially submitted his paperwork, although it took Bernie Williams a long time to officially submit his paperwork this year. Andrew Susac is going to pinch hit for Javier Lopez. Bob McClure is going to go out to the mounds just to remind Ken Giles of the scouting report. So this is the second catcher for the Giants. It is interesting that they would use him here, considering they have Maxwell and Casey McGee both available as right-handed bats. Something must be up.
And it tells you about Hunter Pence's wrist.
Correct.
It's got to be sore than everyone thought right now.
There's Hunter. He was getting a kick out of the Galapagos gang when they were performing earlier in the game with the Fanatic. So Susac, a .216 hitter, 11 hits. Spelling Buster Posey from time to time. Pitches inside, 1 ball, no strikes.
That's a good point. I don't know where they would use a pinch hitter after this at bat. If an out is made, be right up to the top of the batting order again.
Swing and a miss, 1 ball, 1 strike. It is Jeremy Affeldt that's warming up in the bullpen. There's Hunter, has that wrist taped up, you can see, with the wristband over top of it. Boy, he's late on that one. One ball, 2 strikes. Trying to complete the 8th inning is Ken Giles. He buries that slider, 2-2.
Interesting last couple pitches. The 2 pitches back to back at 95 kind of really no chance of hitting the ball.
Nope.
Then all of a sudden throws 2 sliders. Now you're back in a hitter's count, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Runner will go. Pitch is swung on and missed. He overpowered him at 97. 3 strikeouts of the inning for Ken Giles. And the side is retired. No runs, no hits. 1 man left. The Giants have left 9 here this afternoon. He goes back to the fastball. And Susac had no chance. All part of the Phillies family packs available on select weekends. A great value for all families. You can order your tickets now. Check out which games or which weekends are part of that by going to Phillies.com. Well, the Phillies have been cheered on today to a 2-run lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. And Jeremy Affeldt will take over out on the mounds to face Ryan Howard.
Pretty sweet on Ken Giles' T-shirt day. Punches out the side there.
Excellent point.
Everybody was waving their T-shirts in the air at the end of the inning.
International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers T-shirts that fans 14 and under receive with Kenny's face on it. Affeldt 4.86 ERA, and the first pitch is inside, 1-0. Howard is 2 for 3 today. Swing and a miss, tied him up 1-1. One for 14 against Affeldt. Chopper back to the mound. Yeah, there's one away.
Well, I guess those Howard and Affeldt had some battles over the years, right? You know, when these two teams play.
And the matchups when the Phillies were winning their 5 divisions in a row, they were pretty entertaining matchups between these two teams. Giants have kind of held their own though recently against the Phillies. And here's Franco, who is 1 for 3, doubled and scored in the second. Pitcher spot is up next. That's why Andres Blanco is out in the on-deck circle.
I'd say we're going for the downs right there.
Yeah, he was. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That ball hit up into the Hall of Fame club here at Citizens Bank Park.
Well, that was amazing. I mean, the swing he took at the fastball. Before that, and he came right back with another fastball.
That was supposed to be a fastball farther inside.
That one's way inside and low, 2-2. That was the split. Are there a lot of left-handers that throw a split-fingered fastball?
No. A lot of lefties throw either a circle change, but Jeremy, ex-teammate, he's been throwing that for a long time. That with the big overhand curveball.
Again, it's 3-2.
Well, I'd be a little careful with fastball right here.
Out toward left center field. That's well hit. Pagan going back. It is gone! Home run, Michael Franco on a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. And the Phillies lead is up to 3. It's a 6-3 ball game.
Matt, apparently he wasn't careful with the fastball right there. He said, I don't believe you can hit it. Well, he learned his lesson. Franco's a hot hitter right now. Confidence. There you see it, Matt. Boom.
Right over the heart of the plate.
There goes his hands back.
Wow, straightaway center. Showing power down the line. Left center. Straightaway center.
Right center.
Well over 400 feet.
Deepest part of the field.
Yep. Just over the 409 sign. Literally just to the left of it.
Herrera still telling him mine was farther.
Well, it probably was. There's Blanco. Rolls one up the third base line. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Andres Blanco 6 for 18 as a pinch hitter. All 6 hits, extra base hits.
5 doubles and a homer.
Yep. Homer came yesterday. Michael Franco really finding his way up here in the big leagues. Balls, 2 strikes to Blanco. That's a nice cushion, an extra run for Papelbon to work with. At least 1 going into the top of the 9th inning. He continues to get ready in the bullpen. Off the end of the bat, that's flared out towards center field. Pagan's going to let it drop in front of him for a base hit. 7 pinch hits now for Andres Blanco. 7 for 19 isn't bad at all. Coming up after this ballgame, former Philly Marlon Anderson will give his full analysis and breakdown of today's game between the Phils and the Giants. Only on Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies Postgame Live.
No, it's not. Now the Phillies have that #1 guy off the bench they count on.
Well, you talk about bright spots. You try to find them in a year in which the team is 15 games under 500. Blanco, 7 for 19. Hernandez, 5 for 19. Francoeur, 5 for 9, all off the bench. Yeah, there's some extra base hits in there, too. It's not as if they're all singles.
And that's the key, is that there's guys that are coming off the bench being able to hit. Francoeur hit a home run. Whitey hit a home run yesterday. Blanco has that power, that gap power to be able to hit doubles and score guys from first base, instead of looking for that home run every time you need a pinch hitter to come up.
Freddy Galvis singled his last time up. 1 for 3 today. And it's no balls and 1 strike. Galvis in his last at bat, when he had the base hit, he took the first 2 pitches for a ball, then took a strike, and then was ready to go. And it's now no balls and 2 strikes to him with Rupp on deck. Swing and a miss. He got him with a fastball on the side, and there's 2 outs here in the 8th inning. Toyota Major League scoreboard. The Marlins lead the Rockies 2-0. Marcell Ozuna, a 2-run single. Marlins are 2.5 games ahead of the Phillies in the division, in 4th place. Here comes Bruce Bochy. That's going to be it for Jeremy Affeldt with Cameron Rupp coming up. So they'll go to the right-hander with 2 away here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Another pitching change. Phillies have added a run. They lead it 6-3. We'll be back with George Contos' numbers when we return. Softball players, girls and boys, between the ages of 6 and 14. You get professional coaching, skill development from Phillies players, coaches, and baseball academy instructors. Go to PhilliesCamps.com for information on how to find a week. There's also camper reunion night here at Citizens Bank Park, or call 610-520-3400. Home half of the 8th inning, 6-3. George Contos, 27th game, the right-hander out of the Yankees organization, will face Cameron Rupp. He's 1-0 with an ERA of 1.84. So Jeremy Affeldt goes 2/3 of an inning, allows 2 runs, so far 1 run, but he is responsible for Blanco over at first. Last time Rupp was up, he got on thanks to a bunt. Runner goes, pitch out, Posey Throw to second is in time. Well, they guessed along with the Phils and guessed right, and the side is retired. One run does score on the home run by Michael Franco. George Cantos comes out, throws just one pitch, is out of the strike zone. Here's Franco's home run, well over 400 feet. He's had himself a nice day, and the Phils hope it's an even better day with Papelbon coming on.
As we head to the bottom of the ninth, and after the homestand, they'll hop on a plane and head out to Cincinnati for a beginning of a long road trip. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in Cincinnati. It'll be Cole Hamels versus Mike Leake, 2-4 with that 4.40 ERA. Aaron Harang will pitch on Tuesday night at 7:10 in Cincinnati against Anthony DeSclafani, and then it'll be a 12:35 Eastern Standard Time start on Wednesday afternoon. Jerome Williams and John Moscott for the Reds. Guys.
All right, Murph, I appreciate that. You want to get those kids a baseball or something like that?
They're right next to them, aren't they? You can hear that, huh?
They're all part of the studio audience.
Yes, they are.
Here's Jonathan Papelbon trying to pick up his 12th save of the season. Papelbon a 1.17 ERA. And he's trying to close out the finale of this 3-game series. Has not been a particularly good series or homestand for the Phils, win-loss wise, but they're trying to get a win to salvage game 3, and Aoki takes a strike. It's 0-1. We've said this time and time again, Papelbon has been very good for the Phillies this year. The all-time saves leader, did that earlier this year. They appeal. No swing, says Mike Winters. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
He has the most free and easy motion on his fastball. I know it's 90. Bet you it's coming up there harder than that, though, in the hitter's vision.
I agree.
You know, it's almost a right-handed Bumgarner. When you think about it, how he hides that ball behind his body and uses his big muscles.
Ryan Howard will flip to Papelbon. Oh, he didn't get the bag. Papelbon and Howard. They see Howard saying, take a look at it. So Howard must have seen something. Papelbon hasn't really said much, except the fact that he threw his head back to his left. Oh, nice. Now he's saying he got the bag. So here comes Ryan Sandberg to discuss it. Take a look. It did hit. Well, I think.
Yeah, the visual from the umpire's perspective might have been that he missed it because he obviously didn't step down on the bag with his foot.
Right.
He kind of stuck his toe into the bag.
Yeah, they're not going to challenge this. it looked like what you said, Mike, that his foot hit the dirt and then immediately stopped right there. I can't tell whether it went into the corner of it or not.
Oh, that is.
All right, take a look right there.
I have got to figure that he would not have missed.
We did miss it by about an inch. How about that?
Can you imagine an umpire saw that? He's on the back side of the bag. How could he see whether he touched it in the front or not?
Great call.
Because they're professionals. Marty Foster.
Aoki will take off. He'll get to second with defensive indifference.
The home run looks big right now. Franco's home run.
Sure does. Panik has 3 hits today. He's 3 for 4 with a run scored.
Wow, especially as you're going into the meat of their batting order now with a runner on base. They need another base runner to get the tying run to home plate because of the home run.
It'll be Pagan and then Posey. Back toward the box. Papelbon has it. He chases Aoki back to the second base bag and throws to first, 1 out. By the way, from a scoring standpoint, Papelbon is charged with an error on that play with Aoki, and there's an assist that's given to Ryan Howard on it. That's how Aoki reaches first.
By the way, that's a nice play by Papelbon right there. You know, that kind of ground ball back at the pitcher has sort of like tear him off the glove tendencies a lot of times, and turns out to put another runner on base in the tying run to home plate, but he picked it clean and threw him out.
And now he's 2 outs away from trying to record his 12th save, or from recording his 12th save of the season. .78 miles an hour with that slider.
I guess you might say at this point in time, looking ahead to the All-Star game, about a month away, a little over a month away, you might see Pap there.
Well, he's had a good enough year to think about it. The problem for Pap is the lack of opportunities to save games. But his numbers have been very good because they've been bringing him in even with the Phillies trailing to try to get some work in from time to time. He's been very good even in those spots.
There's no way I would come to a game sitting at, what is that mezzanine level right there? Is that the Diamond Club level?
Suite level.
Suite level?
Yeah.
Without a glove. You're right in the field of play.
You're in a hot zone.
Yep. Rupp wants this one up, and it's shot foul.
Unless you were like that guy who caught that ball with the beer in one hand and the child attached to his chest.
Yeah.
Well, he's special.
Yeah.
This guy's right here in the hot zone too, right down here below us.
Right in front of us, there's a spot today that's gotten 3 areas, 3 foul balls in that area. No balls, 2 strikes. And he doesn't offer at it. It's 1-2. Toyota Major League Scoreboard. The Mets lead the Diamondbacks 3-2. Eric Campbell, a 2-run home run for New York. Campbell, who's been helping to fill in at third base while David Wright has been on the shelf. Story today that the Mets are debating on putting Kadire at third base with Wright's injury the way it is. And now the 1-2 pitch to Pagan. To the right side, Utley will get to it. And there are 2 outs. Posey will bat with a runner at third and 2 men down here in the 9th inning.
Mets can do about anything they want with that starting pitching staff. Pretty special.
Yeah, they're also talking about bringing up another one of their prospects on the mound. I think it's the Mats kid. I believe he's a left-hander.
He must throw, what, 97, 98? Oh, he's a lefty, probably 96.
Yeah. Well, here's Posey. Phillies 1 out away from taking Game 3 against the Giants. Breaking ball, and it's 0-1. Line drive, base hit into center field. An RBI single for Posey as Aoki scores. And Posey now with 31 runs batted in makes this a 6-4 game, and the tying run is coming to the plate. Boy, he whacked that one right back through the middle.
Yeah, I'm glad that wasn't right at him. He smoked that ball right up the middle. Posey can smell the RBI. I'm telling you, now he's got the tying run at home plate, Brandon Belt. And this does bring up a little concern now, of course, for Papelbon.
Yeah, Belt is 1 for 4. He singled and scored in the second. Got an RBI and a fielder's choice his second time up. And he's grounded out and flied to left. Swing and a miss. 90. Looked like he was a little late on it. It's 0-1.
Now with Brendan Belt hitting, now all the hitters have to, or the outfielders have to back up, take away the doubles. Ryan will guard first base line.
Runner goes from first. Outside, 1-1. Papelbon had not allowed a run since the 18th of May at Colorado. His earned run average has jumped, won't jump though because of the error that he is charged with. Two and 1. Franco is going to give this a run, but it's out of play, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. 24,799 coming to their feet. Papelbon trying to get the final out here in the 9th inning.
That's messing with fire, throwing that fastball down and into a left-handed hit.
Think it's split here?
Yeah, Papelbon's so hard to predict now.
Well, let's see. Everybody's ready to go. And the 2-2 pitch. A line drive to left field. That'll drop for a base hit. Holding at third base is Posey. And the Giants now with first and third and 2 men down. And Brandon Crawford is coming to the plate. So the tying run is at first. Things have been going so rough for the Phils that Papelbon has not had a save opportunity. You kind of forget this since the 20th of May. How about that? Well, this is as big an opportunity as you're going to find. He's got runners on first and third with 2 outs. Brandon Crawford's the batter, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1. 0 for 4 lifetime against Papelbon. Challenged him with a couple of fastballs. Different spots. Now
he can throw the split finger into the dirt, which I think he wanted to throw against Brandon Belt. He just left up a split finger last hitter.
Runner goes from first, pitches outside. So now the tying run is at second base. I think you got to give him a stolen base on that.
Oh, you have to.
Number 2. They decide not to throw through. And now the 1-2 pitch. And foul. Boy, that one hung up there a little bit. That splitter.
I tell you, I have a tough time understanding how you can let the tying run go to second base. I guess that well, Howard was not holding him on.
He was not. Oh, he was?
He was holding him on.
Oh, I didn't think he was. I thought I looked up and he was.
Oh, maybe
not.
he wasn't.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. A high fastball. Brandon Crawford goes down swinging, and the Phillies have won the ball game. And Jonathan Papelbon has picked up his first save since the 20th of May. A 6-4 score as the Phils pull out the victory. Jeff Francoeur played a huge role coming off the bench. A 2-run pinch hit double in the 7th inning that broke a 3-3 tie. He is our Chevrolet player of the game. And speaking of Jeff Francoeur's 2-run double, it's our W.B. Mason delivery of the game.
Well, comes back in the 7th inning. Gets a fastball slider down in the zone. Hits it down left field corner for a 2-run double off Javier Lopez scoring Galvis, and Rivera all the way from first base. Rivera comes in hard, but it doesn't matter because that's a big run, and that's your W.B. Mason delivery of the game.
Well, Jeff Francoeur has come through a lot for the Phillies off the bench, whether he's in right field, and he gets a chance now to spend a little time chatting with Greg Murphy. Murph?
All right, thank you very much. Very much here with Jeff Francoeur. And we were just talking about it was a 1-1 changeup you said that you hit coming off the bench. Big blow. Take us through that at bat.
Well, it was one of those things that, you're excited for that opportunity, especially when you get guys. We kind of had them handcuffed. They either had to face Odubel from the left side, and he already hit a home run today, or bring in someone else. And Bogey was a little tired, you could tell. I think so. I was able to get a pitch in the zone, and it was a good feeling for sure.
You really kind of accepted that role, and if you're 5 for 9 as a pinch hitter this year, which is a difficult thing to do.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you. Is there some kind of secret that you get yourself ready?
I don't know. I'm kind of ADD. Maybe that helps. That I just don't even pay attention half the time. But no. I'm just prepared. Rock and those guys do a good job. Potsy, keeping us loose in there. We hit in the 3rd, the 6th, and get ready for what our role's going to be. And Rhino's put us in some good positions. Especially pinch hitting to have a chance to do well. And today was a nice win for us.
You and I had a conversation the other day about some positives about this team, and then the young guys is one of the things we were talking about. You mentioned Herrera. You also had Franco goes yard again. Those guys have been fun to watch, haven't they?
Oh man, it's fun. Like I said, you think about how excited they get to come to the ballpark every day, and you can tell, man, it's infectious. Watching them play, it helps. I think some of the older guys play hard, keep going, and the ball Odubel hit today was crushed, and then Franco, ball got up 5 feet off the ground, like a hooded 4-iron. So, like I said, it's fun to watch him, and hopefully we can get on the road and keep this momentum from today going.
Yeah, you put it all together, you get a win to end the homestand, and as you mentioned, out on the road now. Jeff, thanks for your time. Guys, back upstairs.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. Jonathan Papelbon's final pitch, that high fastball to close the door with the tying run at second base. The Phils get a victory to finish up this 3-game series.